Good morning, and welcome to episode 9 of Humblewood. Last we left off, our party reached had a bit of a how do you say this? Everyone was feeling some type of way after the events that happened in the Scorched Grove. And preceding those events, our heroes did a little bit of soul searching, did a little bit of time to themselves, and perused and got themselves ready for the adventure ahead. After speaking with the Birdfolk Council, they realized something that they can do is go to the avium for research. On their way to the avium, they chose, as usual, to take the short road through the ancient forest of mystical creatures and strange fey-like fusions of wildlife and creatures. And upon there, they stumbled to a prowler of some sort, one that was grown with this interesting greenish leaf-like camouflage, if you'd say, and had a little chat with Ash, being the charismatic individual he is. Discerning and being able to reason with this prowler to not eat their small gerbine companion, the prowler stalked his way through the forest as our party made their way to the avium, in which they find themselves meeting with Professor Birchwalker and Dean Winsworth. So they kind of give them their badges and approval to make their way through some of the studious parts of the avium. Led to the dormitory through the magical lifting platforms and stone doorways that are sealed with the same magic imbued in their crests. They find themselves in the dormitory after a long rest, a little paranoid, and some paranoid, some resting easy. So we now turn it over to the party. Party, today you have free access to a lot of what the avium offers. And you'll find out that the avium you can access more than just what the library offers you. If anyone would like to study any kinds of magics, they have access to spells. If anyone would like to maybe craft some potions, they have a garden that grows reagents. You'll be able to spend days throughout the avium doing certain tasks and certain things that you would like to do. So, likely also, if you would like to study any class that cannot change out their spells normally, spending a day studying will allow them to choose any new spells that they are able to learn in their table. So this is other than Himi, you are able to change out your spells on long rests. And I believe
Remy too.
Remy is able to change out your spells.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones that would benefit are Akiko and Ash.
Okay. And we are currently sleeping in the dorms, correct?
Yep. It is the morning. You're encompassing a dorm room. You all chose a 4-person bunk.
All right.
And you slept with the hat on.
Yeah, so is this like two-person bunks, or is it like one bunk that's like 4 levels high?
I would say bunk is probably the wrong word I used. It's more like the room has like a bed, then 2 beds, and then another bed. So 2 beds along the wall are parallel against each other, and then 2 beds against the wall are in line perpendicular to the other beds.
Oh, okay, so it's just like a 4-person room, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much.
Himi's
But
gonna
there's 2 beds together in case,
wake up and look around at her companions. Who else is like waking up right now?
Akiko's already been up.
Yeah, I'm already up.
Yeah, Akiko's up.
Doing
Good
jumping
morning,
jacks.
Akiko.
Yeah. Hello.
She's just gonna kind of like at her fur and then look over at Remy and see how awake he looks. Okay, well, maybe I will have to wait on my coffee.
You want more Remy coffee?
Yeah, I bought 10 pounds of it.
Oh yeah. You bought 10 pounds of it for not 100 gold.
Yep.
Is Ash there as well?
Everyone's there.
Yeah. Morning,
are you-
y'all. How you
okay.
feeling?
Good
I
morning,
feel so
Ash.
good, y'all. It's so nice to sleep on the bed instead of being outside.
Do you
But how do
know?
y'all?
Do you know, Ash? Since and Kiko, since you went here, is there some sort of cafeteria or somewhere where Himi could maybe get some breakfast?
I've never been here.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Oh, apologies, dear. I thought since you were all magic, you had studied here as well.
I
Well, no,
study
so-
magic, but I don't know.
Not officially trained, I understand. Some of us, it just comes naturally.
Bardo's the only one that got to go to college, you know.
Don't
Bardo College.
know if they have like wizards or fancy learned magic users here.
But
do they
yeah,
have
of course they do. We're in the
breakfast
middle.
somewhere that I can go to get some coffee since our dear Remy is still sleeping?
Of course, you want to go with me? Let's go.
Yes, lead the way, dear.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna split the party.
Oh, yes.
So
I'm gonna wake up Remy and wait. Now let me say that. Remy, get your ass up. We're gonna get you some coffee. Gonna get your devil's drug.
Fine.
Good morning. Good morning, Remy.
I mean, Remy, if you want, I can just carry you over. It's fine. You can slip in my arms.
I would rather not get impaled on your spikes.
That's why I said arms, not back. I do like y'all, you know. I wouldn't give y'all that.
It's fine.
Maybe
He doesn't
that's
want your
alright.
front spike either.
I will grab the hat to make sure that doesn't disintegrate us as we walk out the door. Good morning.
I can go. You better come too. You better not scroll her away while we're not looking at you.
As long as they have
on
key.
you.
Uh,
All right.
We've got our
Amy's-
eyes on each other.
Himmy's just gonna follow Ash and let him lead the way to wherever this breakfast can be found. But she's gonna Ash, my dear, where one since we are here for answers and research and all books and all of that, where do you think we need to go for that? Is
Well, if we're
there
looking for
some
books,
sort
we
of
gotta go to
book
the library.
place? Yes, library, of course.
Yeah, you don't
Maybe
remember?
after breakfast you can lead us there.
Sure. Let me just find. Let me look for my little map.
So if you'd like to switch to the avium, we can give a little talk of what it is. So the floating buildings called the terrariums house a lot of different areas, wildlife preserves, school classrooms, such and such. The lower terrarium will house your like basic classroom and like cafeteria needs, let's say.
Okay.
And these terrariums actually, as they do float around the avium periodically, they tend to line up with the edges of the avium and create a bridge for non-bird folk to kind of fly their way to and from. So they periodically go. The next time the terrarium is going to line up is going to be about like 12 minutes. You can kind of like, as you make your way, you can sit down atop the open balcony area and watch as the domes slowly kind of like float and orbit the avium and come down to meet you at your platform, and it sits there for a good 15 minutes.
All right, y'all, get on. It actually was pretty quick this time.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So is this what you were talking about, Ash, when you said that you would miss these and be late for class sometime?
Oh yeah, they're in a very weird schedule. I'm not really that good with numbers, so maybe I just never really looked at it or did the math. But yeah, there's always a circle of luck where if I would get there in time or not, and usually I wasn't.
Well,
Right.
it is a little odd that they have these rotating the central tree. You'd think they would just, especially for a learned academic environment, you think they would just keep them steady so that they could build bridges permanently between them. I feel like this is maybe designed with only bird folk in mind.
I mean, though there is some excuse of thought for us with these bridges, but I mean, it's just a mistake, I guess. In college, you gotta be weird, you gotta be magical, you know, have these things floating around, can just be in the dirt, in the ground like everybody else.
Right. I suppose the aesthetic is just not there if it's not floating and rotating.
It adds
Alright.
to the mystique there.
Yeah,
Very true.
walking is so passe, and so is, and who needs ground when you got air? Like, I would never be walking forward to them.
True. Well, maybe if my glider invention gets up off the ground, gets up off the ground, maybe I could sell them to the avium, and more humble folk could attend more regularly.
Oh, that'd be so nice. I just feel like maybe with since y'all had such a poor perception of the damn thing, maybe it won't do so well. Like poor Hemi, she almost died.
I don't know how much I can recommend it to others, but I will try my best to help you when it comes time for you to sell your invention.
I
And she's
could have
just
sworn
gonna
saw her.
pale a little thinking about it.
I could have sworn I saw her still running behind her. Thought she was gone.
Well,
Was
you know,
quite the jump that we all took.
I
They were quite exciting, weren't they?
I suppose all bird folk have maybe the same experience when they fly for the first time, although maybe it's a little more natural. I don't know. Maybe we should try it again, Hemi. Maybe it will be better the second time.
I'm okay not trying it again ever. Maybe up a little hill, you know, like maybe 2 feet. I'll do a little hop. But never again from 2 miles up.
Yes, maybe that was my mistake. All right. Well,
So
Where's
for the crowd at home, we use the term flying a lot, but no one actually flies without magical means in Humblewood. It's more just like falling in style because they can just glide. So whenever we use this term like flying, it's gliding. They're not actually lifting off and flying. They're just slow falling.
Or
Anyway,
falling
continue.
in terror in the enemy's case.
Falling in a mix of falling in terror and falling in style. It
But either
varies
way,
from
falling
person to
slowly.
person. Yeah, if it works right, you know, don't always have to fall slowly.
Are we coming upon this mess hall or anything?
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys have been walking and talking through
Okay.
all over the bridge and into the terrarium. You get to see all of the interesting building structures, and you come to the mess hall and order whatever meals you like.
All right.
And if you guys want to sit and chat or just eat your meal and continue on with your journey.
I'd like to somehow acquire a biscuit and some coffee and look at the others and be like, This is all he really needs for breakfast, but if you guys want to sit and eat, we can do that, maybe chat. But otherwise, I am eager to find out the answers that we need. So,
Yes, I actually I have something that I want to bring up. So, if everyone could grab their food and then I'm gonna get some
breakfast
coffee and
on the go.
Um, sure. That would be fine. I assume.
All right, Remy, get whatever you're having then. As you. No, turns for like, oh my god, you guys, I don't know how I'm gonna say. I'm gonna take a man, and he's gonna propose to me, and I don't know what to do. Like that's what he's gonna do, right?
Who's going to propose, dear?
Remy to me. He's been doing the signs. He's been eyeing me.
Yes,
Like
that's
that's why he wants to do this
my.
announcement.
Ash, roll an insight check.
Oh dear.
Also, roll 20s back up if you all would like to participate in it.
theater of the mind.
We could, if you guys want, we could continue with Theater of the Mind.
I like theater
No.
of the mind.
We can do, we'll do half Theater of the Mind today.
Oh my god, natural 18 plus 23.
Okay, so as you're saying this, you keep remembering the previous thought of yourself when you thought, when you last kind of thought checked your party member, and you're thinking to yourself, and you're kind of thinking like, wait a minute, what are these words I'm saying?
Oh no, I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
My dear, I don't think it's a proposal, but that's so sweet of you. Remy, if you would like to, we can sit, or we can, you can talk to us about whatever cryptic thing you want to discuss on the way to this library, while we kind of munch away on our breakfast.
Yeah, Remy coming back with some biscuits and coffees. I don't know if anybody wants anything else, but Ash here is a biscuit and coffee.
Thank you so much.
I have one for myself. Akiko, I got you biscuit and coffee as well. I don't remember if you like coffee though.
I prefer the tea.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose two coffees for me. That's fine.
You can have mine too. I prefer
biscuit.
juice.
Hemi, would you like to take one of these coffees off my hands?
Of course, and she's just gonna glop and then like take the second one. And never too much coffee for Hemi.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Remy. I appreciate it.
Of course. Right. So, yeah, we can walk and talk. That's fine. And so we start walking and talking.
The library.
Yes. So after everyone left yesterday, I spoke with Dean Winsworth, and I questioned him about some of his staff, and maybe the possibility of questioning his two professors in particular, Professor Birchwalker, who we've already met, and then also a Professor Nightsteed, who is the professor of necromancy.
Necromancy, yeah.
I have a suspicion, and have had a suspicion about certain people with extraordinary magical powers. Since we met, who is the quote unquote witch that we met? Susan.
You mean Susan, dear?
Yes. Since we met Susan, and she told us of her vision of the person who might be influencing the events of the Scorched Grove. I think that if someone were to be behind all of this, they would have to be some sort of expert in conjuration or a similar
You think it is
power.
someone here?
I don't want to rule anybody out. And so I think it would be best if we kept an eye out while we were here.
Shadows in every corner, dear, always.
Right.
And as you're having this conversation, now that you're kind of walking throughout the day and you don't come at night, you do see that they do have these servitor skeletons that are like they're like bird folk skeletons that are moving throughout the avium, and they kind of do menial tasks.
Whoa! When did we notice this? Because he's gonna flip.
My apologies. I forgot to. I was going to mention it in the previous scene, but so throughout the avium, and Ash knows this, that that Professor Nightsteed is the kind of like overseer of necromantic theoretical schooling, where necromancy isn't practiced through the students, but it's taught in a theory class. And she does oversee that it's her specialty of study, and that previous alumni and faculty members donate themselves after dying through natural causes to necromantic study.
He's just gonna
and they're also
check everyone's faces as like every time we see one of these walk in the hall, and just be like, "I'm sorry. Does everyone else see the skeletons in the halls? And is that normal? Or do we need to ready ourselves? I'm a little concerned."
Yeah, so the only one who knows this is Ash. And the last time you guys saw skeletons was pretty long ago. So this is not
I
a
don't know
normal
what's
occurrence.
in this coffee, but
I'm
I'm a little
too.
concerned that there's skeletons just wandering around.
I do feel somewhat zombie-like, but
Do you know anything of what is this?
Oh my god, I just never even noticed it. I mean, they're just there. They're just here to serve. Like,
Just there.
yeah, they clean. They do some laundry. If you can like ring a little bell, and they'll come over and see what you need.
They are like servants?
Yeah, it's in the name, bro. Servitor skeletons.
Okay. But Tammy didn't hear that. That was God speaking. They're called servitor skeletons.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure I had the exact same reaction as you did, Hammy, when I first came over here. But let me tell you, after like a few weeks, you like barely even notice them.
Okay. And they're non-threatening? Are they still aware of who they were?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't really that interested in necromancy. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know. I think they're not. Otherwise, because we used to play pranks on them and like dress them up and then have them go on their way.
Gosh. They were people.
Yeah, I mean, but I wanted to fit in.
I don't know how I feel about that, Ash.
I mean, I feel bad about it too, but like when I wanted to fit in, it was a one time, like people were really nice to me, so I was like, all right, I'll deface my morals for y'all for these like 2 seconds of appreciation.
Thanks.
Never sacrifice your standards, dear. I am not sure about this necromancy magic. It seems against the rhythm for you to continue to walk around as a servant with only your bones after death. But if you say they are a normal part of this place, then I guess we shall continue on. And she's just gonna keep like a little wide berth of everyone that she sees in the halls of these creatures.
Well, Himi, if you do have any more questions about this, I do believe we will be meeting with Professor Nightsteed at some point. So, if you have any questions about necromancy, I'm sure she could answer.
Yes,
Um,
shadows in every corner, Remy. I don't want to be, stereotyping, but I'm a little concerned about this Night Steed person and their
course.
creations.
But there is also another professor that I inquired about, who not only might be useful to us in our endeavor, but I think you will find a particular interest in Himi, a Professor Ravane of the School of Divination. Um, I know you practice your tarot, and you are interested in that. Perhaps she might be able, he or she, and they might be able to teach you a thing or two about divination magic.
Hmm. Professor Ravane.
Yes.
Do they work at the library as well? Where would one find these people?
Um,
Or
I'm
office hours?
not entirely sure. Ash would probably know.
Yeah, they're office hours. Why not?
Okay. Well, I guess we go to the library and see what's there, and then if we don't find anything, we will go talk to these professors and see what they're up to.
Let's go to the library then. I was gonna open the door.
All right. So you guys make your way. You get back into the avium off of your terrarium, and you go down, down towards the library, which is in the lower rooms. And again, the avium's not made from like a wood like structure like the Alderheart. It's all consistent of stone, and it's a stone creation, still created by druids many years ago, but this is a birth of stone and not a birth of wood. And as you make your way down, you go down and you take the cylindrical platform down to the main level. You brandish your crest onto the double doors. As it opens, you see these you look to the side and side as it opens, and there's these two large stone golem like figures that sit standing perched at the library's entrance. And you see these in certain areas that you are not able to get into that are staff only. But as you enter into the library, you make your way down a spiral staircase going down and open into a bit large clearing of an open courtroom area. In this open courtroom area, you see rows of tables and out. So this is like the underground area. So instead of like regular hallways into bookshelves, there's many like carved out into the ground, like oval
Like little
areas that they
alcoves.
yeah, and these alcoves are theoretically like roots that dig into the ground. So it's like alcove hallways of roots where books line the roots. So you'll have bookshelves lining in the open area, and then roots that give you more access to more books. And the lower they keep, we'll get to that later. As you also see towards the back edge, you see the big, large, like stone, but like representative of like an oak-like desk, and behind it you see an older an older Strig wearing like prim and proper like black and purple robes. This is the librarian you were probably told that you can speak to, Mordain Swiftgale.
Ash,
Hello.
I'll
Ash,
go over.
you know this librarian, correct?
Yeah. Let's go say hi. He can probably help, but he's in like every book here. Like, so I'm gonna go over to to Mordain and say, "Oh my God, hello! It's been so long. How you doing?"
Mordain, who's holding like he's holding a leather-bound book and two scrolls rolled up, kind of and one open book on his table. He looks he looks over his shoulder, he says to you, says, kind of squints his eyes, and he kind of looks to you and he says, "Oh, hello there, Sonny. It's good to see you in the library. What can I do to help you?"
Oh yeah, well, I came here. It's been like I don't know, like 3 months. Like I'm so happy to see you, Merdane. But I just really came over because we need to do some research on some conjuration magic that's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're out.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes, I recognize you lot now. Dean Winsworth told me that you all would be coming to the library. Conjuration magic, you say? Well, I can lead you to some of the studies in the library that I can help you with. Please. And he kind of like takes his time coming around the desk. He puts his stuff down and just walks over and he's like, "Please come with me. Are you all going to be studying in the conjuration arts?" And by this, you have a full library. You can kind of like look at any kind of information you would prefer to look at.
And this is the guy that Remy said was into necromancy?
No,
No.
this is the librarian.
Just the librarian, not a professor.
Mhm.
Okay. My dear, I have a question for you. Do you happen to have any idea where I could find information about what would keep a creature around after death, and most specifically, some sort of herbology or something, a study of some sort of plants, particularly a small blue flower?
Well, we do have an herbalism section. We do have a growing area, and we do study and create potions via herbalism. If you'd like to look for more information about things as this, you can find it in one of the terrariums. As far as preserving and keeping things alive, that is strictly studied via classroom only, within the theoretical field. If you'd like, you can study base necromantic things.
Is there necessarily something? Is there something that one could read up on as to like what would prevent someone from moving on, or if there's a special flower that would help them move on, or if none of that is something that's here in this library to study? Maybe just if you have any older books on something called the aspect of fire.
And I believe the thing you're looking for was called a kindled spirit.
Now, if we want to take a jump back, at the time, it might not have been translated very well, but Trevor kind of explained how that creature was, and it was it wasn't the flower. The flower was kind of part of the soul's past, but the thing keeping the creature alive was because it died during the fires from the scorched grove, and the souls like latched onto the
something from its life.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily that like the flower wasn't a magical, or like it didn't have any properties. It was a sentimental factor to binding the soul to this plane of existence still,
like
and
unfinished.
Not moving on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so unfinished business kept the soul from coming, and it revived as like a flaming specter.
But let's never mind about the herbalism. They're just really, what do you know about an aspect of fire, and really fire demons and everything like that? Maybe some old mythology or something.
Maybe elementals.
Yes, yes, yes. You can. I can point you to, if you are interested. There is a whole study on elemental creatures and their inhabitants, and things that we know of them since the beginning of our recorded time.
Uh,
That would be most
and
helpful.
yes, and she's gonna look around at the group. Do we want to each take a different avenue of study? Maybe so we're not all grouped around the same book. Do we each want to try and spread out, see if we can, cast our net, and see if we can.
It might be good if one or two, if there are multiple people researching the same thing, just in case we don't. Just in case one of us misses something as we're
Kinda
trying to
cross-check each
find
other.
stuff. So maybe if we go in groups of 2 to make sure that we are maximizing the effectiveness of our searches.
Of course, of course.
All right, Emil, let's go do conjuring. I know you do that. You're good with that kind of magic.
Good, because for the conjuration, it's rather complicated research that you'd want to be doing, so only people proficient in Arcana can do it. So you did choose the 2 right people to do it. And I would assume Himmy, so you're interested in looking up elementals? Or like
Himmy's this isn't really her field of expertise, so she's just gonna try as best she can to find what she can find.
Sure. And
We want-
Akiko.
Yeah, do we want to like talk beforehand about what we're looking to accomplish, or are we just kind of researching in general?
Well, the end goal is to find out as much as you can about anything surrounding the aspect of fire. So things like the
Just
Scorched
looking for
Grove or the
details.
Great Calamity are like things that are surrounding like what could have happened with the aspect of fire.
Yeah.
And then with like conjuration, Remy has expressed that he thinks that some sort of magic is afoot that has summoned this
Brought it
creature or
into the world.
something. So yeah.
Okay.
I would say 2 of us go off and try and figure out, maybe study older texts about this aspect of fire and like the old, that calamity that they were talking about, and the rest of us, the other of us, go and study conjuration and maybe try and see how, if someone is behind this, how they are doing it.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're gonna do a little bit of rolls for our looking. So for
Who's splitting off with who for what?
It's going to be Ash and Remy.
Okay.
You guys are going to be going to look for your conjuration. Himi and Akiko are probably going to be together looking at, I think you're settling on like elemental type things, or
Yeah, trying to find, like, looking into the history of...
Elementals, mythology, calamity, just kind of all that stuff.
Okay. You'll have to pick. It'll take, let's say, a day for each like field of study. So we can start with elemental and we'll see where we go from there.
Okay.
So if everyone would like to, let's roll investigation checks. We're going to be strictly studying and looking for things as we go. So investigation checks with advantage, or 2 investigation checks for the groups that are going.
Can I give inspiration to Remy while
Well.
I'm sitting right next to him?
Yeah, how do you give him
Okay.
inspiration? Propose your idea.
Yeah, I'll be sitting around like, I agree with you. I mean, maybe I agree with myself that there really is somebody doing this, and really we should probably go check who's been looking at these kind of books. No, look at the sign-off order.
I actually was thinking the exact same thing, Ash.
Oh my god, it's like.
In fact, in our pursuit of conjuration related materials, I think I wonder if they have any restricted books about ancient rituals and such. I think that might be if there was something in this library that would be able to conjure something like this aspect of fire, then it would probably be restricted. But let's see what we can find just in general first, and then maybe ask the librarian. You said his name was Mordain.
Ah,
Um, Maybe ask Mordain if he has any special books or maybe a registry of the people that have checked out certain topics. I'm actually so excited. This is like my dream. So let's get to work. So should I roll with advantage, or
I don't know. Do you roll with advantage?
do you want to roll separately?
let's just separately.
Okay.
Separately. Wow. And you have inspiration from Ash.
Okay. And
Both of you can roll an investigation.
And is that a D6 for the inspiration?
Still a d6?
Pretty sure, yeah. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
That is a dirty 20 for the investigation.
All right. And Ash, what do you get, boyo?
12.
12. Okay. So, with your guys' research, for the first day, you end up finding out that conjuration magic, it varies from how small and how many to how big and how powerful. You know that anything as large as the aspect of fire is going to need quite the powerful summoning circle in order to summon or seal away this creature. It's something that you don't come around often, and it's something that is very unobtainable to most of the powers in Humblewood. As you've seen, magic is prevalent in most of the small villages, and it's concentrated in a lot of areas, such as the Avium. You know that for, and your outside knowledge is that the Scorched Grove hasn't been an active, like, think of it as like a volcano. It's a dangerous area, but it's been dormant. But only recently has it been active. And you know that it takes something incredibly powerful to be able to weaken the seal on what could have held this creature dormant for so long. Ash, your research kind of taking you in circles. You're not really finding out anything new about this instance, but you are just kind of knowing the base system of how conjuration works. And you're just finding more books about, like, just how to do conjuration, the spells that are within the school, the symbols that you need for it, and et cetera, et cetera. You don't really find too much out of your research for today.
Oh yeah, I mostly know about illusion and enchantment, not really conjuration. So I gotta work myself up through there.
Now let's take a little tour over to Himi and Akiko. Same deal. If you would like to roll your investigation checks, either separate or together, to try and learn a little more about elemental creatures and their inhabitants.
We rolled a 12 and an 11.
Great.
Great.
All right. So,
Amazing.
you, as you kind of search and you look around, you kind of see the baseline of elemental creatures kind of are creatures from a different plane, and they are widely attached to their plane that they inhabit. So a fire creature obviously is from the plane of fire, the elemental plane of fire, and an earth creature is from the elemental plane of earth, etc., etc. Very baseline knowledge of things. You're not really finding anything else you haven't already learned. Something you do stumble upon that's interesting, though, is a passage about the ash snakes. You're not really finding anything more about elemental creatures, but you do see that there has been recorded information about ash snakes, as they have been here since the Great Calamity. It's interesting to note that ash snakes are not exactly possibly known to what creature they actually are, as they have been seen to need to feed and drink and sleep to survive, which is uncharacteristic, as elementals do not need to eat. So the question of what the ash snakes are still up in the air, as they are creatures indigenous to the Scorched Grove, but it appears they are not completely elemental in nature.
Akiko, my dear, are you finding much? There's all this about elementals being from different planes, but that is so out of Himi's. All this study is new to me. I don't know much about the planes. I know that different creatures come from there, and it's some whole higher level of magic understanding. But it looks like there's maybe something about ash snakes being possibly normal creatures? That they're maybe not elemental?
I guess that lines up with what I'm seeing as well. I am not sure, really. I've never studied magic like this before.
I feel very lost, Akiko, and so out of my element, if you don't mind me saying. I know it's not very good to hear. It doesn't inspire much confidence, but
No pun intended.
out of my element. I feel like we need to maybe come back tomorrow and see if we can find something about this great calamity and see if that's where this aspect came from.
Yes, I believe you're right. I'm not seeing too much more than basic information. The information you found on the ash snake seems interesting.
Yes, but I don't know how we would use that information. It's either a natural creature of ash and fire that just should not maybe be here in this wood, or it's an elemental of some different nature than the others. It's very... I don't know. It seems important, but I don't know why.
All right, so if that concludes your findings, you guys can reconvene. Yeah. So it's taking you the 8 hours of like library open time to
Looking
do all of
books.
this information. Yeah, as you kind of stop and take your snacks and whatever break you need.
Library study
break.
montage.
Yeah. You guys are just like book and like you throw the book and then someone has to tell you like don't toss the book to other people, and you walk over and hand the book, and
and there's a book taped to the ceiling, and I'm doing like setups, trying to read it over, like hanging off one of the bookcases.
Yeah. And while Remy has like 10-12 books stacked, like the twin towers of books next to him, as he's furiously like taking his meticulous time reading about things. So you all reconvene, and you can make your leave from the library. It is now like pretty late in the day.
Head back to the room.
And I didn't find anything else out about conjuration.
Not yet.
Okay.
So far, you just the specifics on what is there.
Okay. As we're kind of walking back to the room, Himi's just gonna ask, like, Remy, Ash, what did you find with your study of conjuring?
Well, so pretty much the basics, but through the basics, some qualifications. Basically, the level of conjuration that is required for anything is it goes down two paths. How big is the thing, or how many are the things, and so this aspect of fire, which is very very big, would require a lot of magic. Um,
Just
so
like raw magic or like pulled from something? Is there
well,
some magical item out there that we have to find and destroy?
that is unclear. However, it would take a very powerful arcane practitioner to do such a thing, unless there is some sort of magical wellspring or a magical item that was able to tear away the chains that had been, not the chains, the I guess the better word is wards that had been holding the aspect of fire back. Um, so we can confidently say that it is a very powerful practitioner of magic, and
There's shadows in every corner. I'm continuing to believe in your theory, dear.
yes. So unfortunately, there's only a few places in the wood that can house these people, and we're in one of them.
Yes. Okay. Maybe tonight you put up your fancy little hat
I
in
think
case
that's
word of our studies get out.
I think that's a good idea as well. Okay.
Well, we I am sorry to say we did not discover much in our hours of searching through the books. Elementals come from different planes. I do not know much about the planes. Apparently, this snake thing, this ash snake, is not necessarily from a different plane. They could be from here and just all fiery.
Hmm.
But it is not really clear. And honestly, Himi feels a little frustrated with today and the lack of fruits of our efforts.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
It's always tomorrow. We hit the books again tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I am going to go to sleep and try and not dream of books. And tomorrow we can go back at it.
All right.
The sooner we find a solution, the better. But I suppose we want to be prepared.
And barring anything else happening, Himi's gonna like just make her way back to the room
Okay.
and
I
get
do
ready
have
for bed.
I do have an idea to run past you all. So I can make myself look like other people. And have you noticed the statues that are guarding the doors that we're not allowed in?
Yes.
The employee only doors.
Oh, Remy, where is this going?
If we hit a roadblock, maybe there's more information behind those doors.
You want to, if we don't discover anything in the library tomorrow, you want to go try and check out necromancy professor's office, perhaps?
Oh, that sounds like just a great idea.
Of course, should be fine.
I think we should, if we don't find anything tomorrow, I think at least one or two of us should continue looking in the library, and then the others should go start to interview some of the professors Yes. Unfortunately, I am suggesting we split the party. I think we should cover as much ground as we can. There's so much information. But I think if we started with Professor Birchwalker, the conjuration expert, instead of the necromancy expert, maybe we can gain some insight as to maybe potential students she has had. I don't know. Something to think about. But let's continue working today, tomorrow, and then.
Damn, Remy, I didn't know you were that you had such little regard for us. Like it's just first day. Just because we didn't find anything doesn't mean we're gonna never find anything.
Well, there is. I think you saw how many books I went through today. There is only so much you can do without pushing the boundaries.
We did go over a lot of books today, Ash. I'm all for returning tomorrow, but maybe after that, you and Remy, disguised as a professor, can go check out some offices and see if there's anything else to find.
Well, do you think that one of these professors might have done that, right?
Or at least know someone who is behind it, if they
Right.
themselves are not. A promising young student, you know. It's a trope.
The trope.
It's a trope.
I don't think it might be one of the teachers because we can easily talk to the students, see has any teachers gone missing or they had vacation during the time that like Ash Grove blew up or whatever.
I forgot there were students here.
Yes,
might be an
we
easy
know,
could
I've,
do
like,
that, though, is it not possible to do the magic required just from here? Do they really need to go out there?
Range is mostly an invocation thing, not really conjuration. Unless
E.g.
much studies that would know anything.
Yes.
As we are walking back, can I just really quick cast detect magic as we pass by those statues of the restricted areas?
Sure. Okay, so you cast detect magic, and I don't particularly know the school of magic or what it is, but they are essentially like animated golems. You can detect that there's the magic associated with
Transmutation.
the magic associated
either
with
enchantment or
making
transmutation.
yeah. So take it as you would know that that's the kind of magic this is, being a magic practitioner of your own stature. That these are probably like an animated type thing.
Yes, those would be a problem. Okay.
What are you doing over there? You're doing some magic?
Well, yeah. So I literally just like waved my hand.
Stop and just
said a word. I didn't ritual cast it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you just kind of like
just
like,
stop in the middle of the
"Hey
floor,
there."
sit down.
Just flip open my book.
You just
Doing
kind of waved your hand, and you're just like, speak to me, magics. And then just
casting something, Remy? What are you doing over there?
Oh, just seeing what these statues are. The craftsmanship is just incredible. Oh, okay, never mind. Let's continue. That's disturbing.
All right, head back to our rooms.
Yeah, so you all head back to the rooms, and you're set up for the night. The same kind of setup you had the previous night. You guys all fall asleep. Remy, you set your hat up, ready to in case the door is
Yes.
opened.
This time, I am also going to add another layer of protection.
Double protection, okay.
Yes, double backing it. I'm going to take 25 feet of rope.
A magnanimous
I'm
dispensation.
going to put it in front of the door, and I am going to cast Snare. So anyone that tries to walk in will be lifted aloft, and my hat will blast them.
Hydra Wolf just gave us a random encounter.
Oh.
That's a good one, no?
The good table.
Before we deal with that, though, can we take a quick break?
All right. Hello, guys. Let's start off with our good table. So, Akiko,
Hello.
you are asleep. I would like you to roll me a d20, please.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
19?
All right. So, Kiko, as you sleep, you dream the normal dreams you may have, and you sit, and you kind of have the vision of wind, clouds, and a stormy night. You feel the rain pelting against your skin as you're falling. As you fall, you see the lightning bursting and crashing out from around you. As you fall, you don't see what you're falling from. You don't see what's around you. You just have the feeling of falling. And as you continue to fall, you start to set yourself straight. As you kind of like grasp what's going on around you, the feeling of falling is slowly receding, and you just you feel like you're floating. And as you float, you think and you step down. You're now standing in what looks to be just nothingness. The rain is pelting against you. The lightning is bolting around you. But you can feel the energy just waving around you. You wake up. Middle of the night. It's dark. The hat is perched. Everyone else is sleeping. You wake up in a cold sweat. But you feel invigorated. A little jittery. Try to go back to
Always.
sleep. Takes you a little bit of time, but you end up going back to sleep. You sit. You rest for the rest of the night. No interruptions. No issues. And our party wakes up. Thematically, so that Hydra Wolf knows this is a result of the good table he wanted to roll on, and with your success, you now have an additional +5 to any roll you roll for the rest of the day. For the first roll, for the rest of the day, as you feel filled with like the powers around you, like some arcane elements have been absorbed into you as you rested in this highly magical area.
Want that
I have to
dream?
say that was very appropriately. It was a very appropriate dream for Akiko.
It was. Okay, so our party awakes. Akiko probably wakes very early, ready for his morning tea. followed by Himmy, then Ash, and then Remy, who likes to sleep in.
Himmy's gonna wake up, greet the others, kind of wash her fur a little bit on her face, and then, like, I'm out for getting some coffee and hitting the books again. Akiko, are you ready? Maybe today we find out something more?
Yes, I certainly hope so.
You look very well rested.
You know, I had an interesting dream. I don't know, feeling good though.
I dreamed about nothing but books and words and just flying at my face. It was very stressful.
Well,
But back to the
hopefully
library.
there's no books flying at your face while we study today.
So hopefully they are very mundane books, but hopefully useful books, full of knowledge, perfectly for suiting our needs. One can dream.
Agreed.
Library, everyone. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
You awake yet, Remy?
You can see Remy kind of has like mush face, so he's got fur sticking up on the side of his face. Just hold on. I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, right. I think maybe we should mix things up today. I'm really interested in learning about specific rituals that may have taken place in the Scorched Grove, history-wise. Would anyone like to join me?
To try and find if the aspect was once summoned?
Yes. A specific history of the great, I think you said the Great Calamity?
Yes,
EG?
there was some event that happened way back in the day.
Yes, the arcane history behind that, and possibly the rituals that caused that, and then how that was done away with. That is my topic of interest for the day. Obviously, we need coffee before we
Yes,
set out.
please.
But
Well, I can join you in that, or Akiko, if you want me to try and help with the elementals again, or if you think we should take a different route, or whatever. Point me in the direction of books, and Himi will search as best as she can.
So if we want to, just very quickly, if you want to talk about what you guys were doing, you guys were making progress, Ash and Remy, on the subject you were studying.
Okay,
so typically starting from where you left off would help aid the type of investigative research you're doing.
Like,
honestly, like my my thought process was that was like my natural progression of what I figured the research would be. Like, start out with the mundane, then you find out specific history of conjuration in the area, that kind of thing. But maybe that probably should have been explained better. But
No, that's okay. I understand what you were going for. I'm just going off of the perspective of like you already know where you've left off with your research, and you can already cut out the books that you've already looked through.
so
and you can
mechanically
continue-
speaking, it's like the DC
mechanically-
lowers the
mechanically
longer we
speaking,
spend studying
Yes.
a certain subject. Okay.
Yes. If you
Gotcha.
think naturally about if you revisit a library, you can already like rule out the books you've already pulled off the shelf.
Yeah,
And you can
yeah.
continue your research past otherwise.
Okay.
It's still going to be a little harder if you didn't really find too much research. Speakingly of you guys, but it's not going to be as hard.
Right.
Okay.
So you can continue on based on what you want to research, but as you go, you have the days at your disposal. You can continue to research the one subject you were on.
Okay. So like,
Maybe our research will end up meeting in the middle, since my elementals and the Great Calamity and Conjuration, all that seem maybe perhaps tied somehow.
right. Maybe that's something we can push back a little bit. there might still yet be topics in general conjuration that I need to explore. So, sure, let's get to it. Is everyone ready?
I'm ready
Assuming we've
to
gotten our
the
coffee.
library.
Yes, you've all
Yes.
gotten your coffee and you've made your way down to the library, watching the terrarium spin, going down the same process, opening the stone doors with your crest. And
As we get in the library, and I'm assuming it's going to be Ash and I doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pop off a ritual detect magic really quick and see if there's any actual magic books in the area. Because if there's like spell books in here, that might actually help a lot more, or any arcane tomes. So just looking for that kind of stuff.
sure. All right, Ash, I saw you put something in the roll 20. Do you want to go ahead with that, or?
Oh, it's just I'm gonna cast Fox's Cunning on myself, and I'm just gonna say, I is smart, I is kind, I is important, and I can do this. And I will give myself some Adderall real quick.
And I can do this.
And as it will give me advantage on any intelligence checks, which investigation is.
Sure. All right. Yeah. So you do that to yourself. Remy, you sit down and you ritual cast detect magic, and you'll know that the whole library has little blips of magic all over it. Depending on what you want to look at, there are tomes readily available for all schools of magic for you to learn magic if you wish. It still will cost you all of the materials, the gold cost, the material, and the time to copy down the magic. But the spells are readily available for you to copy down in your spellbook. So you see these magical tomes all over the library for use.
Oh, I could copy down stuff like me
If you'd like to
specifically.
spend, if that's how, don't know your class that well. Artificers.
That's not necessarily how artificers work. That's more of a wizard thing.
Yeah, so if it's strictly a wizard thing, then no, you can't. But wizards can write them in their spell book. If they want to spend all of their time doing it, they can write as many spells as they want, as long as they have the gold to transcribe it into their book.
Okay.
The gold cost for materials, the good parchment, the ink, all of
Right.
these things. Yeah.
Okay. Ash,
Other-
would you like to split up a bit, or do you have any words of inspiration?
No, I don't really have any words for you. I don't really feel like. I feel like you can just do it yourself this time.
Okay,
I trust you.
Fine.
So
I'm actually going to go up to Mordain and ask him a question.
do you want to finish your detect magic? Because you find more than just those spell tomes.
Yes, I do.
So, okay, along with more of the stuff, you do find like spell scrolls, very ancient scrolls that have been transcribed as mechanically they're the one-time use spell scrolls. Those are littered about in their sections. As you continue way through, you do find an interesting section of kind of like a shimmering. This is a little far off from where you were, but still within your range. You have to walk to another section.
Mm-hmm.
You do find a shimmering kind of like bubble that is holding what looks like a burnt couple of pages. You cannot reach into this bubble and you can't take it out. It looks like this bubble is preserving a brittled and almost burnt to crisp pages of information. As you read these pages, you find it says, after its defeat, the aspect of ice lost a single shard. The Borealis was sealed away, a dance of fire and ice maintains the wood's balance. If the fire wanes, it must wane slowly. Only then will its energies have time to ebb away. And you find yourself in the elemental creatures portion of the library. If Himi and Akiko are also researching there, you'll see that Remy has kind of like walked past you a little far off to find this area with the magic.
Remy!
Yeah. So you watch me walk by. I'm out of sight for a second, and you just hear, ah! And I run back to you guys. Come here. Come.
You found something.
Come. Yes.
You okay?
No. This is where you should start your research for the day. And I show them the burnt pages. I don't remember exactly what they say, but it seems to denote a battle between the aspect of fire and the aspect of ice, and a possible item that we could acquire, a shard of the aspect of ice that could wane the power of the fire. So research that, and I will be over there.
Oh, okay. And what does it say again in the book? Is Himi's gonna look down and try and read it?
Sure. After its defeat, the aspect of ice lost a single shard. The Borealis was sealed away. A dance of fire and ice maintains the wood's balance. If the fire wanes, it must wane slowly. Only then will the energies have time to ebb away. So this is the only passage here of a
This
burnt
shard.
page.
The shard is referred to as the Borealis.
Yes.
What I'm okay. So
The
this
Borealis.
shard, the Borealis, is somewhere, and it keeps the wood in balance. But something must have happened because the wood is not in balance.
Yeah,
So-
it mentions it being a balance of the fire and ice.
Okay, well, then I suggest where'd that librarian go? Can I try and find the librarian?
Sure. So now you, just to say, none of you have actually started your research. So this is early in the day.
So
At
I
the
can do away
beginning.
with that terrible roll earlier.
If you rolled, then
Oh,
that's what you're gonna have.
shit.
So if you already rolled ahead of time, you're gonna keep your rolls. Let's
Okay.
just do that. But like, if you, what I'm saying is, you can have this and then continue to research after you speak to him.
Okay.
So, so yes, you find Mordain. He's at his desk.
Hello, librarian. Mordain?
Yes.
Do you know anything about a mystical object called the Borealis?
The Borealis, you say?
So it is perhaps a shard of some aspect of ice or something like that. Where would one put such a magical object? One would assume maybe here at this college, squirreled away in some private chamber, warded from theft.
Well, I know nothing of a Borealis in the avium. Not an artifact known to us.
Do you know of anyone that specializes in magical artifacts? Or perhaps,
Particularly not here.
do you know where I could go, or if there's a book that I can study that would tell me where I could possibly go?
Possibly. If you search in the same section that this book is.
Very good. I will go do that. You've been so helpful, Mordain.
Of course.
And she's gonna turn around and just like, oh, okay. Go back to the same area and try and like search for anything that like pops out that looks like it might talk about magical artifacts or anything like that. Akiko, come here. Help me look. Borealis, something magical artifacts. We finally got something to go off of.
Yes.
So Akiko has actually been researching this entire time. Since you've been walking around, and you just you're a little frustrated. You're kind of like thinking like, that fucking librarian is useless. And you've just kind of not really been reading the books you've kind of been looking at. And you're having to struggle. But Akiko,
Yes.
with your well-restedness and newfound energy, you are on it.
I read good today, man.
Thank you, Hydra Wolf. We've been
So-
doomed with my roll of 1.
You find a few interesting notes and passages in some of these books. And as you read, you see elemental creatures composed of fire that also possess earth elemental traits tend to be incredibly strong and durable, and do not appear to retain their vulnerability to cold-type magics. However, cold-type magic should theoretically be able to. And as you turn the page, the next page is ripped out of the book.
Gasp.
You see later on in another book a fragment of text. This is over like a span of books and books that you see. Elder elementals have strong connections to the energy of their aspected element. This connection can be so strong that... And then the next page is torn out.
Ripping out pages of books, man.
I just peer over his shoulder. What? Who's... Someone been here already?
So before you go
Let me
on,
think.
let me
Yeah.
elaborate
the other
a little
ones.
more on some of the other things you find. These are the specific pages that give you
Actual information.
yeah. So what you or like these are the tidbits that give you like the specific information. The general learning that you've learned is that you'll know that elementals that size are considered elder elementals. They're incredibly powerful, and they have the ability to reshape the land that they inhabit just because of their presence. Kind of similar to more known to how when dragons create a lair, the environment around them changes to better suit who they are.
It's Chuck Norris.
So like a frost dragon, or like a white dragon, the area becomes snow ridden and a cold tundra. So similarly, an elder elemental that inhabits an area would be reshaped to because of his inhabitants. You also learn that most elder elementals will share traits with another type of elemental. You'll learn that like the Scorched Grove was created because of the interactions between a earth and fire elemental that became what you can assume is the aspect of fire. And that's the information that you gathered from this.
Okay. So essentially, let me just make sure I got it right. So the first little tidbit mentioned that it has or like we can assume then it said basically elder elementals lose or that are mixed with fire element.
So fire elementals
I can't talk in real life.
It's fine.
This is why I play characters with high charisma in game, because I actually can talk in game.
It's okay, Akiko. Don't get flustered. It's very exciting.
Yes. So the it seems that the fire elder elementals, uh, if they have aspects of earth, they lose their cold, or their cold no longer works on them.
Not that it doesn't. So okay, so the specific wording used is vulnerability. So
Yeah.
vulnerability in D&D is that
Right.
it does double damage.
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
So in the case of elder
It's no longer super
elementals,
effective.
it's they lose their vulnerability to the element.
Yeah.
There's
something else here, but the page is gone.
Yes, someone has been here. Shadows in every corner, Akiko. We are not the only ones to have researched this clearly.
And then the next one was, what was the other one?
So the next text that you had is elder elementals have strong connections to the energy of their aspected element. This connection can be so strong that, and then the page gets torn out.
Okay.
Well, I don't know really what most of this means, and clearly someone else is at work here, but at least we found something.
Yes. Very interesting. I wonder who it would have been.
Do you want to go tell the others what we found?
So this is the result of researching throughout the whole day, let's say. So
then maybe we'll
I'd like to follow up with the librarian and ask if he knows of anybody else who's done research.
Librarian. Follow up,
who's done
if you
research
will.
into the elder elementals, essentially.
Sure. All right. So now let's hop to our next group of individuals. You guys have rolled already, right, or something?
Yeah.
14 and a 12. All right, sure. So, following off of the information that you began from the previous day, you'll be able to find that talking specifically about the aspect of fire, a very large concentration circle will be needed in order to seal away anything as massive as this creature. The circle itself may have become obscured over time, but it is impossible for the aspect to have been kept dormant all this time without it. So your research throughout what you've been doing kind of uncovers that somewhere, somehow, there is a circle that has been made that has been able to seal the aspect of fire. Somehow it has been released from this seal. But there is a way for it to be sealed again. If it has been sealed before, it can be sealed again.
All right, yeah.
You two kind of work in tandem to find this. As you piggybacking off of your previous research, you've been able to find this. As well, being able to find out that there is a seal somewhere in the Scorched Grove that has been housing the aspect of fire. You do see that there was a previous researcher over time that has been trying to find out where this seal is located.
Oh.
Does this guy have a name?
Probably.
Oh, girl. Doesn't say. He just said researcher.
No, just shows that there has been previous research about where this was. They've put together a calculation of sorts based on the magical presence throughout the area, what ground is at the area, and reports from the tenders and researchers that have gone out there to try and find this seal. As for the time being, it's very difficult to be through the Scorched Grove because of how dangerous it is, but they have found enough clues to be able to try to ascertain where this symbol is, but it is unfinished. You have...
All right, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
I guess that'll be the next area of our research tomorrow.
Remy has found, with the help of Ash, the unfinished calculation of where this circle is located.
Okay.
And that will come to your end of the day for research today.
Himi, Akiko, how went your research?
Good, I think. We finally found something, though, Remy. Shadows in every corner. Some of the pages were ripped out. Someone was here before us.
I guessed
and
as much.
took some of the more relevant information. But Akiko did most of the reading. Do you want to
Yeah.
kind of sum up what we found? So above Himi's head.
We found that the elemental we came across would be considered an elder elemental, I suppose, due to that seems to be its classification. It doesn't seem to have its vulnerability to cold, but there's some other bits of information that seem like have just gone missing with the pages. We're not sure. There's something else to be discovered here.
Okay. Well, I, along with Ash, have found that there has been previous research about where a containment field or wards to keep the aspect of fire dormant have been. We have found out that is what happened. There is such a circle or zone that has been keeping the aspect of fire asleep.
And someone let it out.
Yes, and someone definitely let it out, or it was disrupted or eroded over time.
You all, going with the theme of shadows in every corner, you all remember Susan's vision
Mm-hmm.
had a gigantic blaze and a dark shadow off in the distance.
Right. Someone likely let it out. So, need to keep an eye on that. And then, but I also, there has been research about the whereabouts of this location. And I have found unfinished calculations for where this location might be, but it will take me a little bit more time to finish those calculations. Did you find anything else out about the Borealis, the shard of the aspect of ice, or is that have you hit a wall with that?
Fortunately, I don't believe we came across any of that information.
Yes, the librarian here is so helpful. He just said that there's nothing like that here, so I.
Okay. I wonder how. If there's no information about that here, perhaps we could use more arcane methods of finding that information. If there was a way to see this item or to learn more about it, perhaps we could talk to Professor Ravain, the divination expert here at the college. She might be able to. They might be able to clue us in. Maybe cast some higher order magic, much higher than any of us can do right now. she might be able to help us if we brought our concerns to her. Them. I don't know their gender.
Well, maybe. What about this plan? We go to bed with, your wonderful, clever little protections in place, of course, shadows in every corner. But then tomorrow, we go talk to this conjurer. We go talk to the professors, and if they are not forthcoming, plan C. Ash, you take Remy around, disguised as a professor, and we get into one of the offices. Akiko and I, go back to the library like we're studying or something.
What are you gonna ask the professor about?
Just to see what they know about the aspect, the Borealis, or anything, the circle, basically just get any information we can. Since clearly the books have given
do
us
y'all
all
feel
they
like
can.
you feel like we're done with the studying? We're done with all the books they can give us, so we can go talk to the professors?
Himi
I don't know.
is
I was
done with
taught
that
that
library.
I was taught you need to do as much on your own as you can, but we start asking for help.
I think this is important enough that getting a little bit of help in between.
But if it helps you deal with the concept of asking for help, this is still us on our own gathering knowledge. We're just not gathering from books anymore. We are gathering from people.
Yes. I do think that we should at least talk to Professor Ravain, the divination expert here. If anything, divination will allow us to maybe, I don't know, see what's going on magically. I'm not entirely sure. Plus, Himi, I know you might want to speak to this person for your own interests. Maybe. But
I mean,
Ash does bring up a good point. I am close to finding the location of this magical ward. I believe I should definitely continue my studying tomorrow. Ash too, perhaps. But I don't know how much more information you two are going to be able to get out of your section, especially with pages being ripped out. That might be something you might want to bring up with someone. But be careful.
Yes, but depending on who we ask, it may have been them that ripped them out.
Right. That's why the necromancy professor is one thing. They may or may not be involved. The more obvious answer would be Professor Birchwood or Birchwalker, the conjuration professor, as she is an expert in conjuration. So I think the best bet would either be to talk to the dean or to this Professor Ravain, the divination expert.
What do you guys all think? Himi does not have any confidence in getting anything else from those books or that library. So wherever you think we should go next.
Himi, Akiko, would you be comfortable going to talk to Professor Ravain yourselves?
Of course, dear. Just as long as Ash, you can tell me where to go.
You'll be able to.
And then Ash, I think we should definitely continue our research. It will definitely give us valuable insight into what we have to do next.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I was wondering why I want to go to ask the professors when we were doing so good on our own.
Right. We have more stuff to do. I just don't know if I don't know if they have much left to discover.
So are we suggesting we split the party for the third time this session?
Yes.
just call me crazy, but I feel like maybe it'd be useful to go look at books, see what other books might be missing some pages as well. And that will lead us to what books this person's been doing, looking at, and then seeing what might be missing. Then maybe see if the professor has anything can do about those missing pages. Like, I don't know, but I don't know. Like, to call me crazy, I feel like that would be the best course of action.
You think we should go
Where
back
are you guys
to the
having this
library?
conversation?
As we walk back to our room,
In
or
the
hopefully
room.
back to our room? Okay.
It's the morning of, and we're walking to the breakfast. We're skipping the
It's
night
already
of.
the morning of.
Yeah. We're walking over to find out what we're gonna do.
We're
today.
skipping right over your random encounters in our bedroom at night.
We are back in the library, EG.
Yeah.
It's actually already been a week.
Oh my god, you guys! Oh, you passed all your rolls. Oh shit, you already did that. Shit. All right, hold on. Let me just give you everything.
Yeah, I have found everything that is possibly. I rolled a 35. We're good.
Okay. So, okay, so let's say you reconvened in the library, started this conversation, and you walked back to your dorms, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Great.
Roll to see if anybody overheard us.
Yeah, continue. You guys are walking back to
And
your room,
fireball.
and you guys are
Mm-hmm.
so you guys are talking about thingamajigs, what you're gonna do the next day, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know what y'all think. I feel like that would be the best thing to do.
I agree.
Right.
More information we can gather, the better.
What different sections would you have in mind, Ash?
Well, they can just keep doing what they've been doing instead of reading really deeply. They can keep, instead of looking for books that might be related to that, look for the ones that are missing the pages. Should be pretty quick, no?
Maybe.
And then gather up and
Missing
read those.
pages.
So the information that they gathered were from the books from the missing pages.
And that's all? That's all the ones that are missing? I don't know that.
All the ones that seem to be on the topic that we were researching are the ones that were missing pages. I don't believe there's anything else left to learn from that section of books.
All right.
Unless you have any other idea on how to find more information on the Borealis, I think that is going to be a very important part of our research moving forward.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, DM.
You guys figure that out. I'm going to go look at the books.
Were you
What is it,
saying
morning already?
DM, do we?
I just want to hurt
Would there wouldn't be any like commonly known prophecies or anything like that that we without researching them would know, correct? No prophecies about the wood.
None of you really know, besides like the general tale of like overwhelming power caused the scorched grove to become a thing, and
There's
blah, blah,
nothing
blah.
like rhythm or lore that would have been passed down, say, through a group of women that, study rhythm and the lore and the wood's balance. Perhaps.
So okay, so if we go off of that logic, if you talk about balance, it's like that elements all live in balance and keep each other's in check. So currently, right now, what we have is the element of fire is out of check, and it has disrupted the balance.
I feel like he understands that pretty clearly.
Yes, this general knowledge that you guys have.
which means what's happened to the aspect of cold?
Aspect of ice is not spoken about as far as your elemental readings. The most that you have under the aspect of ice is that during its origination of the elements, uh, the aspect of ice is fragmented and created the Borealis.
Okay. Huh.
So theoretically, the aspect of ice doesn't exist as a whole anymore.
You can probably assume that the aspect of ice itself has been concealed and it has not come up in history again.
But it's been like that for a long time, ever since the beginning, right?
Yeah. None of you. There is not great research on like the timeline of how these things happened, but none of you have gone into actually look at what the beginning is like or what has happened.
Right. Okay. So, Himi, Akiko, Ash and I will continue our research on conjuration in general and this, the calculations to find the location of this warded section of the wood. Would you? There are multiple things that you could do. Maybe look up the history of the creation, including the elementals, the different aspects. Maybe try to find more information on the aspect of ice, and maybe figure out where it was imprisoned or put away.
More books. Timmy was so
Maybe.
excited to go and talk to a person. But
Um,
all right, more books.
or maybe try to convince Professor Ravane to help us. It's I will leave it up to you, but those are multiple avenues that you can explore.
Yes.
Personally, I am of the mind that we should talk to Professor Ravane. I think it would benefit us greatly.
Yes,
especially-
I think we should go talk to the professor, Kiko. Shall we go?
I agree. Perhaps
Himi,
if we get a chance, we can speak with the um, professor that specializes in divination as well.
yes,
That's who Ravane is.
yeah,
Oh, that's Ravane?
That's
Oh, okay.
Professor Ravane.
Which one is the one for conjuration?
That's Professor Birchwalker.
Birchwalker. Okay.
I would not recommend talking to any of the other professors without the entire party together.
Yes, we can steer clear of the necromancy professor until we are all together again.
And Professor Birchwalker, because she is a more likely suspect. However, Hemi, I have some gold, and I'm going to hand you a pouch of 500 gold.
Oh, for Hemi.
This is to be used to persuade Professor Ravane to help us.
A bribe. You're giving me bribe money.
Yes, this is bribe money. It is also if she needs any sort of material components for a spell, then that hopefully would cover the cost of most spells, unless there's some ridiculously expensive, extremely powerful spell that I've never heard of. Hopefully that's not what it will take, but if you could ask her to perform a spell to give us more information about the the borealis or the aspect of ice or whatever we're trying to do, that would be very helpful.
Himi shall try her best.
Okay.
Akiko, shall we go and find this professor?
Yes. Let's.
And now we're going to bed.
I guess so.
So now you guys are
Find this
going to
professor in
bed.
my dreams.
Yes. In the morning.
Okay, so you go to bed. You forget to set up your hat. You forget to set up your snack.
Oh no.
As you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning. And the morning comes. What do you
And
guys
you're
do?
dead.
And our throats are slit.
That's it. That's the end of the campaign. Goodbye.
All right. So Akiko and Himi, you would like to go seek out the professor, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We would
And
like to go talk to
Remy?
the professor.
Remy and Ash, you would like to go conclude your research on conjuration and reading.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So, Remy, Ash, give me your rolls. Don't do anything. Stop touching things. Thank you. I want you to look at the books, and because you have all of the research in front of you, you know all the assets you're going to use for this. You're going to decipher through an Arcana check how to create, how to finish this thing. It is going to take you all day to try and do this. So
Okay.
I would like, with whatever means that you're going to do, we will need an Arcana check. Any help from
30, 20.
Ash you can get?
I'm
Ash,
not
would
helping him, no.
You're not helping him at all.
You dick.
Now,
Okay.
I feel like
That's fine.
Remy just feels like we're too dumb, so I don't really want to help him do stuff. Like one day we did find nothing. He's like, "Y'all too dumb. Go away. Go talk to people."
That is a 19 for me.
Dirty 20.
Okay. When you two come together, for some reason, you don't sit with each other to create this formula. You share the research, but you don't share the knowledge. As you come to the closing of the day, it seems like you've each hit a wall where at different spots of the calculations. For some reason, you're just unable to pinpoint the connection between the magical ley lines and the source of the magic at a concentrated point. And neither of you are able to make the connection.
Ash, how has your research been? I can't figure this out for the life of me.
I guess I can't either.
Do you mind if I look at your notes for a
You're
moment?
more than
Just-
welcome to. I don't really take too many notes, but what little I have, you can see.
Well, everything helps. And I'll look through his notes. Probably get frustrated. Well, I hope Himi and Akiko have had a better go of it than we have.
I'm sure they will.
Can we make a jump cut? Akiko, Himi, you are now at the early morning, middle of the day, as they have just finished their research all day. You find yourselves, you asked around, and an individual has led a servitor skeleton to take you to the professor's office when they're on their off time, when they're not in the classes.
I'm going to attempt to talk to the skeleton as we walk.
Sure.
I'm just gonna say hello. How are you?
Do it.
What's the right thing to do? I don't know.
I don't believe that they are here anymore. I think they are just bugs walking around with servants.
You hear its bony talons clanking and clicking on the stone floors as you continue to say hello and
Ugh.
walk with it. Is that
I'm gonna
the
just make
attempt?
sure that Akiko is between me and it.
You're like, what's your name? Oh. Okay. Good talk.
All right, so you make it to the office, and the servitor skeleton stops, halts in front of it, turns, and walks away.
Okay.
I think it got lost. Maybe we should follow it.
I don't know if we should follow it. I think we should just go talk to this professor.
Oh, is
Leave
this
those
it?
things how they are.
Yes, he led you to the door, and he stopped, he paused, and then walked off.
All right, Himmy's gonna reach up
maybe
and
this
just
is
kind
it
of
then.
knock on the office door.
Here from inside. Come in, it's open.
Walk in. Hello. We are looking for the professor of
Divination.
divination. Thank you, Akiko.
Oh, if
Is that
would
you?
be me.
Very
That
good.
would be me. Yes. Hello. And you see, this is Professor Ravane. He is a Corvum. He wears like a darkish blue teal cloak over like purplish robes with a little like crystalline pendant on his neck. And he is sitting at his desk with books open. He's got like a crystal ball in the corner of his desk, and he has a few of these these like weighted spinning desk things that you see in offices. Yeah, he's got like one of those just spinning.
Just
consistently
standard
on his
desk stuff.
Yeah, and it's spinning consistently. He says, come in, what can I help you with? Oh, are you the individuals that the dean has been talking about?
Yes.
Lady?
Hi. I am Himmy. Nice to meet you, Professor Ravine.
Yes, that is me. Hello.
I was wondering if you had some time for us to ask you some questions. And also, what has the dean been saying about us?
Oh, he's just informed us that some adventurers from the Alderheart, some very well-known individuals, have come to the Avium and would possibly require our help. So,
Okay.
what may I do
Well,
for you?
yes. A lot of people do know my name.
Indeed. And you are?
Oh, that's right. You're not from Elderheart. My name is Akiko.
Akiko.
This is my friend Himmy.
Very nice to meet you all. How may I help you?
We are wondering, Akiko, do you think I should just launch in?
Go for it.
Professor Ravane, have you ever heard of the aspect of fire?
Oh. I think everyone's heard of, well, maybe not the aspect of fire, but the tale around it. Yes, everyone currently knows about it. So yes, I would say so.
Do you know anything about an aspect of ice?
Now that is one that typically does not be spoken about very often, as I believe, unlike the aspect of fire, the aspect of ice does not exist in this world. Possibly, there's not much information about it. As much as the talk between the higher powers have spoken of the aspect of fire, maybe once or twice. Aspect of ice is just something that doesn't get brought up.
Can there be a balance of the elements if there is no aspect of ice in this world?
Now that's the question, isn't it?
Himmy's gonna just think a little bit about that laugh. Okay. Professor Ravane, and is there any way I could incite that laugh?
Sure. Roll me an insight.
Please don't fail me.
You roll a 1 and you think he's the big
If
bad
I
guy.
I probably haven't given it to you recently, but you have inspiration if you like.
Yes.
I forgot to mention, you can just use it.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, sure. From inciting it, from that laugh, it's just a really quirky laugh.
They're just eccentric. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an odd professor. Okay.
Just an
Oh,
odd
Professor. Okay.
All divination ones are eccentric.
What a wonderful chuckle you have. Professor, have you ever heard of a magical item or artifact that is perhaps a shard of an elemental creature, perhaps called the Borealis?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of the Borealis. I personally haven't done research on any of this, so I do not know of such a thing. What,
If one were to have a very powerful and rare magical artifact that would perhaps be dangerous should it fall into the wrong hands or something happen to it, where do you think they would keep it?
Well, if such artifacts did exist, I don't know. Under the watchful eye of the avium would be, but we don't have such artifacts. No, I do not know. In the time that I've spent in my life here in the Humblewood,
She's gonna look over to Kiko. Just
there aren't any speaks of artifacts around.
You know, for a college, this place does not have a lot of knowledge readily available. I don't know what you guys study here, but it certainly isn't anything useful. Maybe he's getting a little fed up.
I apologize, for that is not my school of expertise.
No, darling, it is fine. It is not your fault. This is just not the font of knowledge that Himi was expecting of one of these high and mighty colleges, places of learning. We have been unable to find anything on any sort of magical artifacts that are possibly important or where to find them. Right. And so the aspect of ice, just according to you, is just in the ether and no one knows why?
I'm afraid so, yeah.
Okay. Professor Vane, do you know your colleagues very well?
Why do you ask?
Just asking. I'm having such a hard time trying to find knowledge, and I would love to know who else here could maybe help me. And really, Kimmy is a little bit of a testy personality, so it would be great if I could get some sort of insight beforehand on what they are like, and so I can best approach them.
Well, it's funny you would ask such a question. If you may, kind of beckons you to come a little closer to me. As he leans down on his desk a little, he says, "So, as you know, I am the professor of divinations and such, and you see, for the past couple of weeks, I've been having this a vision in my rituals.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very clear. See, I've written it down, and you see in the humble scratch that they have written down. It says from the information he's gathered from his divinations, he says, Black Heart lies among the white and gray, but in the dimness it is hard to say. Who is friend and who is foe? The master wheel, the monster will.
Can we get a copy paste of that?
Yes, I can, but he's
Okay.
gonna say, so now,
That is such a strange thing to have in the vision. You think that there
Is
are
it-
maybe foes of Blackheart here in the avium?
I thought the same thing.
Yes.
It is indeed a very strange
Shadows in
divination to
every
have.
corner.
It seems that is a good theme to follow.
Do you know, just of your colleagues, do you know, feels just the most black-hearted of your dealings with them as a fellow professor? Any divinations that you can provide for us in terms of who's the
My-
spookiest?
My divinations are not specific, but
I see.
I do not know if it could be a colleague or a student. It's I feel that there is just a black stain somewhere here in the avium. I brought this up to the dean, and the dean has been taking a look into it, but so far no avail.
Yes, of course. My dear, one last question for you before we go.
Yes?
I have grown up in the wood, and I listen to the rhythm of the forest as best I can. And when I cannot hear the rhythm, I follow the rhythm of my heart as best as I can. And obviously things are terribly out of balance, and I do not know much of the gods, but I was reading my cards a while ago, and I got this strange vision of what I am told is the god of night, perhaps? It was a great strig across the sky, trying to bring about night, and I am just wondering if you happen to know what that meant.
So I don't believe it was a string.
Oh, was it not?
I don't believe it was a string.
Oh. Well, some bird folk, god type creature going across the sky. My memory is a little fuzzy. But I believe it was the night god flying across the sky or something, or someone who is responsible for ferrying souls to rest.
Oh, I see. You're talking about Titan, the night owl.
Yes. I am so sorry. I do not know so much about these gods and the Amaranthine. I study the rhythm. I feel the rhythm. Do you know what would have happened to make him? Is it just the balance of the forest being off, or is there something that could have happened to affect his ability to ferry the souls to rest?
As for I'm not a very religious individual, but
Divination, Professor.
as far as I understand, divination is school of the arcane.
Divine.
It's
It's
Uh-huh.
more about the it's like the telling of
It's-
like time and visions, less
But
about like
the root of the word. It's fine.
divination is essentially like the learning school. Like they try to learn as much as they can about stuff. Like knowing is their goal. It's not.
I've
Yeah.
always understood it as like the school of prophecy.
That's
That is divination, 100%.
Oh, is it divination?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. That
Yes.
is prophecy. Okay.
Schools of magic are not are agnostics to fate or not. Every clerics have divination spells, such as wizards.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
arcane, there's arcane.
yeah. I would. So like in this
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
it is like things aren't married. It's not mutually exclusive. So like everyone can use it. So like I think some clerics have access to divination spells that give them the
Silly
insight.
him, you're just paying too much attention to the Latin root of the word.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like
divine
it's semantics at some point. Like you could be
Yeah.
a religious divination wizard
Yeah.
that is not does not directly connected to a god, but studies religion through
Much like a cleric
through
that's
their
not sworn
visions.
to any god. Yeah, I get
Mhm.
ya. Okay.
Yeah, much
I
like
was
how
just
there's a
hoping the
cleric
divination
who has a
professor would know more about the gods, but okay.
yeah. There's also a domain of cleric called knowledge domain, which is purely divination.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Schools don't teach religion. What?
All right, dear. So you don't know anything about this Titan other than his name or anything like that? You don't know how he would have been affected by all of this?
Well, it's interesting that you've had a vision about Titan. It's
I thought so too.
as much as Titan is, he basically ushers in the night. He is the contrast to Ardea, who ushers in the day. As Ardea is the champion of life, Titan is the champion of the grave. My knowledge is not too deep, but I do know that Titan is the path between the living to the dead. As Titan wants to watch and keep his bearings over that path to be restraint within the laws, and as it seems, no, even in the laws of necromancy, the practice of necromancy falls within this realm, as these Marathing has allowed us to practice it without being smited by them. So it even goes to show that necromancy falls within the natural order of things, to an extent.
Okay. Well, my dear, thank you. You've helped us so much. Thank you so much for all of your help. Please do be careful. Shadows in every corner. Akiko, shall we find the others? I think there are other professors that we may need to talk to. You're muted.
You're muted.
Yes, I am. I just did notice that. Before we go, are there any prophecies in the modern day that have to do with the Scorched Grove or any or the aspect of fire?
See, the Scorched Grove has long been a land damaged by the previous calamity. I don't know about the prophecy per se, but I do know that the Scorched Grove is caused by an event. That event happened, and it is now part of our natural cycle. And it appears that the activity at the Scorched Grove is not part of our natural cycle. And as I have not been receiving any visions or prophecies about this in particular, it just doesn't seem natural.
Interesting.
Well,
Very
thank you,
well.
dear.
Thank you, Professor.
Akiko, I say that we should find our companions.
Yes, quite.
Thank you again, Professor Vervain.
Indeed. If you need any help, I'm here.
And then can we just go find maybe to the library, or what time of day is it? Has it been all day?
No, you're in like midday.
Okay.
So
Oh, why is he rolling?
So
Fireball.
Bowling.
as you all
We're
make
not
your
making it to
way
the
through,
library.
I would like, I would like everyone to make Actually,
You're killing me, man. You're killing me.
Oh my god!
What are we making?
Like for all of us, roll 46 6 times, drop the lowest.
Yeah.
That's right.
I made a little bit of a mistake there. Hold on a sec. I would like everyone to take, as they sit and they go about their business, 13 necrotic damage.
What?
Uh,
Everyone does?
Yep, everyone
shit,
takes 13
they're
necrotic
on to
damage.
us. They're on to us.
And I would like,
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
Is there any way that I can sense
No.
magic and put up my ward of shadows?
no.
Okay, fine.
So I rolled against your
Okay,
passive
fine.
perceptions.
Okay.
And I would like Himmy, as you get this feeling of disturbing necrotic pain getting ripped through you, you lose 2 points of your strength score.
There's shadows.
Akiko, you lose 3 points of your strength score.
That was
Ash,
my
you
dump
lose 2
setting.
points of your strength.
No.
And Remy, you
Oops.
lose 1 point of your strength score. As you all get raked through your body and your essence starts to leave as you get pulled from this. And as you turn, you see nothing but a trail of shadow attached from you into the darks of the corners. As we can enter initiative now. Now we are
Shadows in the
separate.
corners.
You know what
Um,
we did? We said
you know
shadows
what?
in every corner. Too much, and the DM got an idea.
So
We played ourselves.
So instead of all of these initiatives individually, how about everyone gets a turn to act? Akiko, you have a response. You have a shadow looming from your feet, looming in the corner.
A shadow. Is it pure? Is it like actual shadow, or is it like something in the shadow?
It's like you can see the trail of the shadow attached to your heels, and it leads into the wall as it looks up to you, and you see the form of the shadow. What do? You're running out of time.
Yeah, firebolt.
All right,
At the
sure, roll
corner.
it. Roll it.
Fire at the corner because my brain is big.
21.
21 to hit.
Great. All right. You rear back as it slaps into you and it comes back. You come back. He's like, ugh, what the? And you toss your firebolt into the corner as it slaps and the shadow starts to shimmer and shake. Himmy, what are you doing?
There's something there.
You two have just been ripped of your energy and your force as you sit there and turn and reek to it.
I'm just gonna put up my hands towards this like retreating shadowy form and just go light and cast Word of Radiance. And just try and hit the shadow creature.
Sure. All right. You see as it gets hit by the light, it rears back and it starts to shake and quiver and dissipates. Ash, you have a shadow attached to your heels as it slaps you in the middle of your
Back.
information gathering.
All right. Since I'm in the back, I'm just gonna do a little drop down, clap some cheeks, and do Thunderwave at second level. Con save 15 for me.
Okay. Underway. You're still next to Remy, so if you'd like.
Well, it's if he's right next to me, it wouldn't matter because it goes.
What I'm saying
square.
is you can see the shadow attached to Remy's heels as it slaps him as well. So are you adding that into your target range?
If I can hit him without hitting the shadow, yeah.
Sure.
If I can shadow without hitting him, I mean.
All right, yeah, they both are abysmal. As roll your damage. Yeah, abysmal as the force. This is very loud, right?
300 feet.
All right, cool. So
People can hear it from.
You turn and you clap your cheeks, and then the wave of energy explodes from you, and it just the shadows get bolted and repented and slapped back into the walls, and they dissipate. As Remy,
All right, back to studying.
you've been slashed, and you turn and just to see the shadow just get blown and dissipates as the shadow disconnects from your heels and retreats and wanes off. Same as you two up top. As you've hit them with your energies, the shadows clip off of your heels and dissipate.
Akiko, are you okay?
I think so.
That fucking professor is on to us. We need to find the others.
Yes, quickly.
Let's go. And she's gonna start running towards the library.
Ash, thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
I feel like we're probably not safe at the moment. Let's keep an eye out. Put the books down maybe and keep an eye out. I'm pretty sure someone's going to come up to us after that thunder wave there.
I mean, I feel like we should probably keep doing what we're doing. Obviously, somebody didn't want us to do this, so why stop?
True. Here, let me just
Insight check to see if Ash is working against us.
You're not there yet.
I know.
I'm gonna take off the hat. I'm gonna take off the hat and put it on the table. If something like that happens again, the hat will give us at least a little bit of protection.
Just make sure to make it so that the people are all gonna be coming over here in a bit since I did it pretty loud, and just make sure you add exceptions for like bird folk. Right. And have put one in for Mordane as well.
Yeah,
poor guy's so old, you might just kill him before he even the bullet hits.
The hat is actually just gonna glow and kind of like send a pulse of blue energy out, and it's just going to be the protection part of the hat.
Gotcha. So the temporary.
Oh, this feels so new.
Yeah. and so we. Jeez, that's terrible.
When did you learn how to do this? I've never seen you do this before.
Oh. What do you mean? I did this during our battle with the snake creature. Oh, you didn't get any of that, did you?
I feel like
Ash.
probably I didn't. I'm pretty sure I remember this.
Well, it's we have it now. And you get 5 temporary HP.
All right, thank you.
I rolled minimum.
Well, I guess it's kind of weak, so I can see why you didn't have to do it on me. I'm so strong, I don't really need it.
Yeah,
like,
I figured you wouldn't need it, and Akiko and Hemi, if they didn't have it, they probably would have died 3 times over. So
I know, right? You and I, we're the 2 tough guys here. We need to protect them, so they need them more than us as they start walking into the room.
Yeah. Have we made it there yet?
Yeah, you guys have
unimpeded.
made it there.
Okay. He's gonna just rush in and find them and be like, "Did you just get attacked?"
No.
Yes.
Okay, quick rundown. Listen.
We're just reading here. We're fine.
Would we have heard the thunder wave?
No, you were too far away.
Oh. Okay.
Listen. I don't know. I think the necromancy professor is onto us, Remy. We're talking to the divination professor, and they said that they had a vision of someone working against us in the here. So it's either the professor or one of his students. Are you guys okay? Does anyone need heals?
I think we're okay. Is Mordain okay? I figured he would have come over, and although he is a little hard of hearing.
Mordain is useless. Forget about Mordain. I hate that
We
guy.
still go find him. I don't know. Oh my god, he might get hit by those shadows right now. Didn't even think about that.
I doubt
go
the
looking for
shadows are
Mordain.
after him.
All right, sure. Roll me an roll me an investigation check to look for Mordain.
All right. Oh yeah, let me roll
I am
a,
kind of hurting over here, by the
I'm
way.
just gonna
Throw that
slap
out there.
myself with some cure
Yes.
wounds.
Can I? Yeah. If you're looking messed up, I will cast healing word on you.
You have do you have the Fox's Cunning?
No, I lost it on the damage. That was
Oh, that was the concentration check.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Sure. So normal 14 investigation. So everyone's healing up, and as Bard Ash
7
goes
for
and
you,
walks.
Kiko,
7. Thank you.
and 5 for me. As well as I'm gonna bonus action just bring out my spiritual weapon.
Less a minute. Just to let you know. All right, Ash. As you walk through, you don't see Mordain in the library.
Oh, he probably just having lunch. Like, what time is it?
Lunchtime.
Probably like a
Is
little
it
bit
lunch?
after, a little bit after lunchtime. You guys have been studying for a little bit. You had to wait for the professor to be on his break.
Oh, all right. So maybe just having a late lunch.
Would it be
Either
normal
way,
for him
we're-
to be here?
Is Ash away from
Yeah,
this
since
when
we-
he discovers this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are kind of in the main common area because you were doing the more rigorous.
So we are
like-
all aware that he's not there.
Yeah, Ash kind of does his circle around, and he goes through some of the areas, and he goes to his desk, and he sees there, and he's not there.
Yeah. Is his like, because we've been here for a couple days, is his normal schedule to be gone during lunch?
He's typically in the library most of the time during his like 8 hours of working. He's typically there. He tends to have his lunch by himself. He doesn't go to the mess hall for his lunch. He usually has his own.
Something's wrong.
Damn it.
I think we need to make for the professor of necromancy's office as soon as possible. I don't know if Mordain is working with him or got the tip to go or something, but we got to go.
Maybe there's a reason the librarian hasn't been super helpful.
We are sitting ducks here.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you do?
Himmy wants to go find the professor of necromancy and see if he's the one and like just eliminate that or engage like right away.
Okay.
I almost think we should go to the dean.
You think the dean?
Well, I mean, if the dean, the dean is either good or bad, and if he's the bad one, then that's who we need to take out, and if he's the good one, then he'll help us.
Okay, I worried that was necromantic magic used against us just now. It had that heebie-jeebie vibe. So,
Yeah.
GB shadowy vibe.
yeah, so, but if you think we should go to the dean, maybe we can go find him and tell him, if nothing else, that one of his guys is a bad.
I would rather not face off against an expert in necromancy by ourselves.
All right, to the dean then. Yes? Yes?
Okay, yes.
Okay, let's go.
All right, we're gonna go to Gabe.
All right. So
That was an interesting smirk.
You make your way up out of the library, and you pass through the halls of students and other individuals just making their way through. A couple of the servitor skeletons carrying just doing mundane tasks like carrying laundry bins or garbage and all the such alike. You make your way up to the same very decorated cylindrical area as you come up to the central area of the avium, to the dean's office. So you make your way up to the door. This is not a sealed door. It is a normal door that you can knock, and Remy pounds on the door and knocks.
Himmy's just gonna try to open it. Is it unlocked?
Yeah, it's unlocked, and you
Yeah,
open
she's
the
just
door.
gonna push it open. Remy, come on. Who's knocking right now? Let's go.
Ah!
The
She's
dean
getting
just
bust in looking for the dean.
just papers. He kind of like some like grading papers. He just kind of like was like, wow. As he's not used to people just barging into his room, as like you see the papers kind of fly down and hit the floor, and he's just like,
Let the papers.
Can I perceive if
okay.
anything else is in this room or anyone else?
sure, roll me a perception check.
Dean Winsworth? Is that it? Dean Win.
19.
We were just attacked by our own shadows.
So off of Himmy's perception check, you do see something different in the room.
What is it?
He has 2 cups of coffee on his desk instead of 1, since the previous time that you have been in here.
But there's no one else in here?
No. As he is
I'm gonna
hard
just
at
stop
work.
Remy and
As he
kinda
is
like...
hard at work, just it was a joke. There's nothing different about this room.
Oh,
He's just
okay.
drinking 2 cups of coffee.
Okay, I wasn't sure if like someone had gone...
I was like,
Everything
someone's
is a
invisible in this
nail.
room. I'm casting
Yeah, I was like, do I have
was-
anything that can see invisibility?
I was gonna go.
Here.
I was gonna go a different way with it, but then I realized how bad that actually went. And no, there was nothing different in this room. He's just
Okay.
drinking his coffee, and he was looking at some of the senior senior thesis papers and shit.
Listen, I don't know who. It's probably the necromancy professor, but someone in your college is behind this whole mess and just attacked us for getting too close to the truth. And your divination professor can back us up on that because they had a vision. And you need to act now, either have our backs or give us the go-ahead to deal with this.
Hemi, why do you always sound so crazy?
Yeah.
We just got school is full of skeletons. Himmy's on high alert right now.
Okay. Apologize. Let me get this straight. It is. So you were all attacked. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, by necromantic energy.
Okay. Oh, that is not good.
Your
Are you all-
divination professor had some vision that there was someone not good at this school working behind this whole disaster with the fires.
Okay. I'm sorry. First, are you all okay? Do you need assistance? Do you need our medical team to come examine you?
Do you have healing
We're
potions?
fine.
Or any healing magic? We could use all you have.
Yes, if you would like, I can call for the guard to get our medics on staff.
Okay, can I insight check him before he calls for the guard? Kind
Yeah,
of
go
dirty
ahead.
20.
Dirty 20? Yeah,
Mhm.
he's flustered in the way that he didn't expect, like an a panic situation to happen, and he wants to help you.
Okay.
He wants to get the guard.
If there is medical staff or healing magical peoples, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yes. And he kind of looks into the air a little bit, and he is just kind of muttering to himself.
Oh, and Dean Winsworth, you should probably order the guards to lock down the avium, just in case whoever did this tries to escape.
Yes.
We want to keep things here. We don't want them to run away, because then this entire thing will be pointless.
Yes, what
I
he
don't know.
said. What he said.
He's muttering his message as he sends off, and he says, "No, hold on. Let's just talk about it a little bit. So, so what you're saying is you were doing your research on what happened and the things going on with the aspect of fire. You have been attacked,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you've said that Professor Ravane has had suspicions. Yes, I have had reports of that.
Yes. So could you lock down the school?
Mhm. The most important part of it is that we were attacked by shadows. They are summoning from the, I believe, necromancy, if I remember correctly. Well, that was happening as well. Well, we were in the library. The librarian is usually, Mordain, usually there, and he wasn't there now, so we are a little bit suspicious on him as well. So the only two leads that it could be is either a conjurer, a necromancer, with maybe aid of the Mordain. I don't know what magic he casts, but it might be that.
You know
There's
your
one accomplice. There might
better
be
than
more
we
than
do.
one.
But you should absolutely order a lockdown of the school right away.
Yes.
At the very least,
So
if
that we
anybody
can
sees,
investigate.
at the very least, if everybody sees the necromancer professor, the conjurer professor, or the librarian, to just make a note of it and make them not go out if possible.
Okay. We won't lock down the entire avium. We shall do this a little more covertly. I think we can set up the guards to be aware of your suspects of this issue. This is very troubling.
Are you able to call them over here for
You
an
are
emergency meeting?
so understated, Dean.
As this conversation continues, there's going to be and at the door comes in the two perch guard with a medic, and the medic is going to come in, and Dean's like, all right, and he's going to talk to the guard, and he's like, okay, here's the plan. So what we're going to do is I need to station each of these individuals possibly near the library and near are you kidding me? The Professor Nightsteed's office, and put guards on the watch and keep note of the faculty that make their way through the terrariums and make use of the exits, the avium. Report to me whenever any activity happens, and they'll kind of like nod their heads and they'll leave as the medic kind of examines you all. And if you need healing, you'll receive they'll take out a healer's kit and you'll receive 9 points of healing.
Just what I needed.
And as you described, like the attack from the shadows, they'll advise that you take a rest to try and purge yourself of like the necromantic energies that
Is a short
they're
rest
gone
enough to restore our strength? I
I
thought it was a long... Shadows are nasty. So please don't let me forget to ever restore my
a
strength.
short or long rest.
Well, we
It's
don't have
either
8
or.
hours. Oh, short. It's either or. Okay. All right.
Yes, it's either or.
I
So
am restoring my strength then.
yeah, so if you guys like, as you talk in the dean's office, you can take the, let's say, hour to get healed up, take your short rest, reduce the issues with the shadow. And as the hour comes to and you guys kind of finish your short rest of resting, eating, drinking, bandaging, and just kind of like thinking about things, the guard will come out and they'll say, no activity from Nightsteed's office. It seems that they have taken their lunch and have been in their office. No activity there. She finished her night class. The library, however, we have not seen Mordain in the time since the beginning of our watch.
He has not returned to the library.
Now, Ash, you said no one ever goes in the library, correct? The students, at least. And I'm
I
sorry.
mean, not too many people use it. Only when like final comes around.
I'm sorry that you have to hear about this way, Dean. But the library is underused.
Not important.
So, Ash, if people were ripping pages out of the books, who would be the most likely suspect? Probably
The librarian.
Probably someone that is there all the time. Shit. Do we
He
know
was
where
deliberately useless.
Yes. Do we know where Professor Birchwalker is?
Mm-hmm.
Where or what?
Where?
Where? Okay.
A real swell person. That's what they are.
Birchwalker is probably doing their studies. They're finishing up their afternoon class, possibly.
Okay.
We did mention Birchwalker as one of the
I don't
potential
know a lot
suspects,
about
right?
what the professor's
you?
gonna do.
Yeah, because he said we were thinking necromancy or conjuration.
Oh, okay. You didn't add that specifically to the list at the end. I'm sorry. So they'll report that Birchwalker finished their class and they took a late lunch, and they're doing their thing.
Okay. So.
And do you know if Remain can find people? Is that a spell they can cast?
Let me see.
Maybe a little scrying.
I do believe Ravane has the capability to access this magic. Yes. Yes. Who is it that you would like to peer upon?
Mordain.
Mordain is a what? What is Mordain? A string?
He's the librarian.
Yeah, he's an old strig.
Oh, he's old string.
All right. So he is going to do the same thing. He's going to wave his hands into the air and mutter a little bit and stay there. So. Okay. Ravane will be here shortly.
Alrighty.
We're getting
There we go.
guys.
No need to panic, y'all. We just gotta use our little brains.
Yep. All right. So Mordain enters and he says, "Okay. I understand there is a situation here," and he sees all of you. And he's like, "Hello again. Hello, you two again. Yes.
Hi. How you doing?
Wait, is this
hello,
Mordain
Ash?
or Ravane?
I mean, Ravane.
Ravane.
They have similar names.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Ravane.
I was like, I'm sorry, did the librarian just walk in?
Just like, I'm here.
So Ravane
And
Okay.
fireball.
I'd like to roll
Ravane.
initiative.
Ravane walks in and says, "I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here. Hello, Ash. It's good to see you again. I think. What is happening? Hello, you two.
Ravane, shortly after we left your office, we were attacked by shadows. So whoever this dark heart is, they are aware we are trying to find them.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the librarian went suspiciously missing during all of this activity.
Okay, and the dean is gonna explain that if you are, if you're able to, I would much appreciate if you can try to locate where Mordain is at this time. For he has not been seen by the Purge Guard at all, and we have not been able to check in on his whereabouts. Like, okay, I will, I will attempt this ritual very quickly. And Mordain pulls out his little orb, and he sits down and he sets it down and draws a little chalk outline around it of some some like divination symbols. as they draw about and they sit and they think to themselves. They light a couple of these like candles as they set up the ritual for it, and they begin to scry. And I just have to familiarize myself with scrying.
The
It
target
can be either scrying or locate creature. It's a 4th level spell, but it has a range of 300 feet.
Yeah, and scrying would be the target makes a save. I can't remember what it does exactly, but
Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's very difficult because usually the party tells me because they have the spell, but now I have to tell myself the spell because it's my NPC. Okay. Yes. All right. So. Spell commences. They sit there with their orb as they're using the power. The swirls of smoke from the candles lit are now swirling around the orb as Ravane is looking, peering in. What is this I see? But
Hopefully Mordain.
Ravane, I do indeed see Mordain, but it is a dark, dark room. Does not appear that he is awake. He seems asleep.
Fuck.
Does not appear that he's breathing, but there's a purple like hue swirling around his body.
Do you recognize it? Recognize the place?
It's dark. I don't
Purple hue.
I don't understand what I'm looking at, but I think Mordain's in trouble.
Did we check the closets of the library?
As he comes back and sorry, that is all I saw. Darkness,
All right.
Mordain.
Dean Winsworth, could you send the guards to Mordain's chambers? Perhaps he is there.
Oh, okay, we'll look there first. He ushers the guards out to go take a look at where Mordain's chambers are.
In the meantime, it seems Mordain may not be the culprit. You said, is there still a guard in the room?
Yeah, now there's a good amount of guard. There's a couple of guards. There's the medic. There's Ravane,
Okay.
Dean, you guys.
Speaking to one of the guards, was Professor Nightsteed talked to? Did you enter the person's classroom? Do you know for sure that she is there? He or she, they is there. They are there.
We were able to assess that she left her classes in the morning and took her lunch in her office. She has not left her office since.
Well, let us visit her office.
Yes.
Because how long has it been that she's been sitting in her office?
Since lunch break. She has no other classes for the day.
Yes. I think, Dean, if you could maybe send the guards to check on Mordain, make sure that he is not in trouble.
They're already out.
Okay. And then if if you would grant us permission to go speak to Professor Nightsteed, maybe send the guard, or if you would like to come with us yourself, I want to make sure that this person is not being, because as far as I know, uh, Professor Nightsteed was in her office when we were attacked by shadows. So they could have attacked us. Being pretending to take their lunch break. So I think we should investigate that.
Indeed, indeed. If you'd like to go investigate, Professor Nightsteed, by all means, just
Okay.
be careful.
All right.
Can we borrow one or two of these burly guards you have with us?
If you may, you'll have the guards that are outside of her stationed office now.
Okay.
Those will be your reinforcements.
Very good. Let's
do
go.
we-
The ones that are already dead. Got it. Yeah.
Right.
Also, quick question: who has control of the servitor skeletons?
That would be Professor Nightsteed.
You don't have like a
Awesome.
override command or know the command word for operating them? There's no redundancy set up here for this system.
Not necessarily. It's the servitor skeletons are not very. They've never caused any issues on their own. It has not been. No,
Right.
no. That is the.
You have played
easy way
yourself,
to put it.
and now we are reaping the consequences.
But if you
Let's go.
would like, would you prefer? Would you like to do this yourselves covertly, or would you prefer to summon her here?
Oh, I think we should
do
go
it covertly. Yes.
to her. Yes.
Catch her
So-
in the act.
I don't know
Well-
how covert it will be with guards outside of her office, but I don't want to give her time to prepare new spells on her way here.
I mean, she knows she attacked us if it's her. She knew where we were at the time. Chances are she has some way of identifying where we are, and she most likely knows we're not dead. If it's her, of course. But I don't think summoning her here, nobody's going to be able to get her here.
I mean, if she is a necromancer, it's very possible she is just looking through the eyes of her little servants and can see.
I think we need to go there. But
I don't know how covert it will be, but I think we go to her.
Okay. Then steadfast. Be careful.
Hmm.
Okay.
And Gabe, you're also having people look for Mordain, right?
Yes. And as you guys come back, the guards will say, Mordain's quarters are empty. His room has been thoroughly searched. His closets are empty.
Oh boy.
Maybe he's in the library.
I still do not believe him innocent. If anything else, he is a pawn.
wait, by empty, do you mean like emptied out, or
No, like there's no persons.
no body? Okay.
Yeah, there's no persons. There's been activity, like normal, like people have lived in this area, but it's there's no persons in there currently.
Okay.
They'll
Just
also
checking
report
on
that
that.
no one has made it through the library since.
Okay. All right. Let's go meet Professor Nightsteed.
Okay.
All right. So, make your way out. Nothing looks different so far. You just see the over increased activity of the perch guard now that you have set the alarms off to the dean that something is amiss. And as you make your way through the avium, you get on the cylinder platform, you raise yourself up, you go to some of the teachers' quarters, and you find yourself at Professor Nightsteed's quarters. You see the two perch guard that are One is a little closer to the door, and the other is like across the hallway, as they have like their eyes are open to the entire access way. As you make it, you nod to them, and they nod back to you, and you're at the door.
Yeah. Let me talk, you guys. I'll knock on the door.
Hello? Who is it?
Hello, I'm Ash, bright speaker, pleasure. I'm here to ask some questions to you about necromancy, if possible.
Yes, come in, please.
Thank you so much, and I'll open the door.
Yeah, and as you see, she is she's kind of like she's got like a book in her hand, and she's eating like an apple, and she's just mulling over her notes as she was pacing back and forth in the room. It's like, yes, how may I help you?
Oh well, hello. Yeah, we're here on behalf of the Elder Heart to ask some questions. I wonder if if you ever wanted if I wanted to summon some shadows, like what would be the range? If I want to cast it on a person, would you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. Interesting question. Um so what are you doing, Luca?
I'm just
You're
vibe checking
insighting?
her.
Sure,
I'm
sure.
insight with 22.
Yeah, sure. So she'll kind of like say with the questions, she's very strict. We as you know, we study necromancy in a theoretical pattern. So the ability to cast a spell of to explain the situation to me. You want to know the distance in casting a spell to summon shadows?
Yeah, say you saw somebody walking and you decided to enchant their shadows and give them life and attack them. How far would it have to be to cast such a spell? Or is it
Just
really
say.
noticeable in your theoretical mind?
That's strange. It sounds, from the sound of this, it sounds less of a spell and more of a curse. I do believe for something like this, you need to be in close proximity to the individuals to be able to activate such a curse.
So the curse would have been laying dormant there for a bit before it was activated?
Quite possibly, yes.
But we would have to be near them for it to activate.
I believe it'll be mostly that they would have to be near you in order to initially inflict the curse.
About how close we would say? And would it be really noticeable, this curse? I mean, you don't have to tell us how to cast a spell, but like if there's like some word, some gesture.
She kind of like goes
Or is
to
it
the
like,
back
I
of her
hate that
desk and
bitch, and then shadows attack?
she kind of flips through her notes a little bit. She's kind of thinking to herself as she goes to look at her notes. Whoops. I'm sorry, this is just a very odd. I just wasn't prepared for such a thing. We don't necessarily talk too much about curses in our class.
Is there anyone, a current student or maybe a previous student of yours, that had a particular interest in curses or the application of necromancy?
As she flips through her pages, she does say, well, many many more prestigious families do send their students here to study. She flips through. I did once have a star pupil. Oddwald was his name?
Oh my god, my nuts!
Oh
Jimmy's gonna be like,
Oh,
I fucking knew it! I knew it, you guys, I knew it!
Yes, he did come from the Ebonheart family. They were a very prestigious group of individuals.
An ash barrel, right?
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
It appears that you need to be able to. If you would want to bestow a
Right
curse
here.
onto an individual, it
Suspicious
appears,
friend went missing when the fire started.
It appears that the individual needs to touch the one to inflict the curse.
He came in our room at night and touched us.
Or
Oh,
he has
no.
disguised himself as someone else that we trust.
That's more likely.
Who would that
Oh my
be?
god, was
I don't know. It was Riften who told us of him in the first
Right,
place.
but who would have touched all four of us? DM.
What?
History
We-
check.
Can I make a history check to figure out who would have touched all four of us?
All
That
right.
is so odd.
Sure. Go ahead and
And
make a.
after we've actually made progress on this too, so it would have to be
Well,
somewhat
they could have
recent.
activated the curse at any time and placed it on us forever ago.
Yeah,
That
but
is-
like
that is a natural 20, my friend.
Woo!
Sure. So when you think back at your adventures, you think back at your time, and you would probably assume that this had to have happened while you were in the avium.
I mean, yeah, we split the party so much, like nobody is ever gonna able to touch all four of us.
the
Except
Only
that night that you
times-
forgot to set up your hat.
the only times that you
the fucking
have
cafeteria lady,
thought
isn't it?
the only times that you have all been together at the same time is usually when you were in the library or when you were walking back to your dormitories. Every other time you've been in different locations, not being able to be together. And the possibility does stand that you could be able to, theoretically, throughout your whole adventure, could have been activated in a sense, but it's unlikely that over the course of like days did someone one at a time like go to like touch the party.
You also wouldn't you have noticed it when you did detect magic the second day, if we had been afflicted with a curse already?
Maybe?
Usually curses are not seeable, at least with identify, so I'm not sure if they're IP or detect magic.
Let
I
me
would-
see if Detect Magic says anything.
This is also like a it's not a word for word like a spell or a thing that's for like 5e. It's not like I'm just telling you right now, I don't think you can mechanically break down like without a game knowledge this, because it's not set in like a rule of a spell or something, you know?
Gotcha.
You mean there's no summon shadow spell in 5e? Oh my god.
So theoretically, perhaps we could have gotten the curse by looking at the specific books or something like that, or perhaps, or something like that, where like
the one rule that has been told to you is that they need to touch you.
Oh, okay, so
Mhm.
it would have to be.
Also, all roads lead to Mordain or the fake Mordain. And Oldwald.
Yes, Mordain alone, dead in a closet in the dark somewhere. That we have never actually come across real Mordain. That's real Mordain. And we have been dealing with this Oddwald person in disguise as Mordain. Mordain's dead. He's been dead, stuffed in a closet for
See?
weeks.
See, guys, smart but stupid.
Wait, so okay, so
We
Well,
never
wouldn't-
have
if he had
actually
been-
met the real Mordain. It was Oddwald the whole time.
Are
But
you
he
saying this
wouldn't
in
have-
the office right now?
I am, yeah. I'm excited.
Brightsteed is just. I'm sorry. What are you talking about? What is happening?
Listen.
I'm
You.
sorry, she gets excited.
Listen, you.
And she's
Your
right.
student has gone off and has broken the balance in the forest and is murdering everyone with fires and has killed Mordain, is pretending to be Mordain, was completely useless purpose when I was asking him about things in the library, and now has attacked us with shadows. This Oddwald person is behind it all. I don't know why, but he is the guy.
She's not as crazy as she sounds. We've been talking to some people, and fake Mordain Oddwald was found in Ashborough right before it blew up. Now you're telling us that he was a necromancer when we were attacked by shadows, and so like old roads point to him. And we did a divination on Mordain, the dear librarian, dear in my heart, and he's magically encased in a purple energy and unable to actually speak and almost dead. And Mordain has suddenly disappeared after those
Goodness,
shadows.
I don't understand. I hope Mordain's okay, but Oddwald, why would he be back here doing these things? He hasn't been a student here in years.
Well, possibly to waylay us, or possibly to find something or get something he left here or discovered was here.
He has been researching the same thing as us, so maybe he was just covering his tracks. Because he was ripping up papers in the books.
What do you know of this student of yours? What would be his motivations for destroying the wood?
Do you have any blood possessions of him? Some fingernail clippings?
No,
That'd be weird for her to have.
I don't keep possessions of my graduates. Oddwald was a very prestigious. He comes from the Ebonheart family. He's very well learned and.
Where do they hail from? The Ebonhearts?
They hail from a place that is in my notes that I'll tell you.
Yes,
is it somewhere we haven't
You check
been...
your notes.
Let me check my notes on my alumni's.
Oh my god, guys!
Looks like the Ebonheart family has been around since
Ebonheart? What did you just say? You guys. No, stop everything. The Blackheart is the source of the problem. Akiko, you were there. Her vision talked about the Blackheart behind this all.
Yes.
Kimmy is losing her mind right now. Are you serious? It's all coming together.
The Ebonheart family is one of the families that have been around since the creation of the Alderhearts.
I'm sure they have.
The Druids first originated. But Blackheart, you say, is.
Yes, your divination professor here at this school had a divining of a Blackheart in the school behind all of this.
I don't know how to process this. Such a young, prosperous student to turn to something so vile. Out of game knowledge, he's a Corvin too.
Okay. A lot of Corvins Corvins at this school.
Yeah. Corvins, very magical and smart individuals.
Wait a minute.
Ash, you seem to be a little bit frozen in time there.
You do. Oh. Is your internet holding up?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Kimmy?
Yes.
Did you say that your vision that you had, was it a Corvum that was going through the sky?
No,
was it?
That was an owl.
Yeah, it's an owl. No, it was a night owl. Or something.
A barn owl, to be exact.
Something godlike there.
Titan is depicted as like a barn owl. As like Strigs and everything, they all are like they follow more. They have like a humanoid bird-like form, but like the gods are animalistic at their core. Titan is a thickened through barn owl. I can show you a picture of him real quick. so that you can get an actual understanding of like what I don't have it on hand, but it's right here. It's Titan,
Oh, look at that.
and here's Ardea. The night, the sun, and the moon.
They aren't necessarily in opposition, right? They're not like enemies or anything like that. They're just
Think of it as like yin and yang.
opposites. Yeah.
They're the cycle of day and night.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is disturbing. Hemi, I think we should go back to the dean, and maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure the lockdown is probably pointless at this point.
Professor Nightsteed, is there anyone at this school that is able to teleport us?
Where would you want to go? I don't think anyone has the
To
abilities.
the Elder Heart.
I don't think anyone has the abilities currently to do something like that. What?
Uh-oh. Oh, he
There
dropped.
he goes. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me try and
what-
connect on my phone. Yes, is there anyone that can connect us to the Elder Heart, or maybe get us there quicker, or at least send a message? We need to. It's going to take us a long time to get back out there.
I think we should contact Riffin too.
I don't know. What's
Oh, sweet, there he is.
what can you do at the Elder Heart?
Well, really, we just need to inform them. It'd be great if we could. Well, I don't know. Rami, Ash, Kiko, what? Obviously, we need to tell the dean. We need to tell the council of what is happening. We need to disseminate information.
I'm sorry. If Mordain is in trouble, I think we should get to the bottom of this.
We should probably go to the library, see if there's any where you can find them.
I mean, I would say that Mordain's time has probably passed. He served as... but, okay, we will save this one person rather than the forest. Of course.
But by saving him, we may save the forest as well. We
But
must
all-
find.
By saving him, you might understand what happened to him, what's going on.
I would assume
Where-
he got hit on the back of
if-
the head with a heavy object, and then Oddwald took his form.
Well,
If-
we'll know that when we go find them. We'll go to the
If-
library right
if
now.
you're-
Very
we
well,
can
let's
find-
go find
if-
Mordain.
If you're telling me that Mordain is in trouble and the one that you've said has been Mordain is nowhere to be found, then that Mordain is probably Oddwald.
Yes.
Yes, but I think the one that Ravain had in her vision of Mordain on the floor
It's-
is the
that would
the
be the
past
true.
Mordain, the true Mordain.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe how the spell scrying works is like it doesn't matter what you think you are, it needs your own name. I don't know if Ravain has actually seen Oddwall in order to scry him.
So the way it works is that the individual Ravain was looking for the actual Mordain.
Yeah.
Right.
Found
Yeah.
the
They
actual
found
Mordain
the actual
who is
Mordain in the
Mhm.
current state.
in some
In
sort of
state.
suspended
Currently suspended.
animation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
You explained it well, we got it.
yeah. So speaking of, Professor Nightsteed, what we were described as, what Professor Ravain saw was him being surrounded by this purple aura. Would you have any idea what that could be?
We start walking to the library.
Yeah.
She'll come with you as she looks through. She'll explain. Purple swirl. Suspended. You might be locked in some sort of suspended animation. Being preserved, if you may.
So he would still be alive.
Yes, most likely. There's no need to preserve a dead body such as that. There are other means to do that. And that does not sound like one of them. It sounds like a means to preserve a live body in suspended animation.
Hopefully, real
And what-
Mordain is better and more useful with knowledge than fake Mordain.
Or yeah, of course he is. If you had told me that Mordain was really helpful, I would have known. He's been
Did
so nice.
tell
He
you
knows
that he was
everything.
useless.
Yeah, but I thought it
Three
was you
said that
being
to your
mean.
face, Ash.
I thought it was just you being mean, like, oh my god, I hate this Corvum. Sorry.
This is what
Sorry,
happens
Shrek.
when you cry wolf too many times.
Don't know if I really cried wolf. Susan ended up being a gem. I was right about that. I was right about Oswald, and now I am right about Mordain. This is 3 for 3 for Himmy. You guys all just have a false perception in your mind.
Can we just go back to the moment, the very first adventure? As we were traveling, you were like, "You insult me, I kill you." There's a little bit of overreaction that happens.
Yes, but usually Himmy has a pretty good 3 for 3 track record of judge of character so far.
All right, so now you make it to the library after all of your scrambling. Students still they're kind of moving out of your way as you're walking. You now have 2 perch guards, Professor Nightsteed, and the 4 of you walking through the hallway. You get to the library as the other perch guards have informed you that no one has come in or out of the library since they have perched. You present the crest, the stone door is open, and you make your way down. Get into the library. The library is empty, is silent.
We go looking around, find in all the closet, any secret doors, any like tomes that we can pull.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and start ritually casting Detect Magic.
Sure. So I'm going to need investigation checks from anyone looking around for secrets. And you've got the Detect Magic going.
18.
Can I also investigate for secrets, or no?
Detect Magic first,
Okay.
and then you can investigate. So after your Detect Magic is done, roll your investigation check.
All right. That's not great. It's only like a 16.
Okay. Your Detect Magic goes off, and it is the same as before. You see all of the magical tomes and scrolls that are going on, and all the such alike. Everyone is making their way through all of the library, and you're looking through you're touching everything you can. You're pulling all of these tomes and putting them back, and you're looking for any secrets that you can find. And you're for sure there's a secret somewhere. As Ash, you find yourself towards a section where there were very old blueprints for the avian. And as you run through all of them, saying, "There's got to be something. There's got to be something. There's got to be something," you see on one of the blueprints rooms you've never seen before, and are not accounted for. You take the blueprints, you find yourself through. You make your way from the roots to the central part of the library. As you move, you get to the desk, you go over to the right, and you go down towards another section of the roots. And where this area should be, there's a wall. And as you look around for it, you see that there is one of the bricks have an outline around them, as if you can press it in.
I'll just call, y'all got it. I was
Okay.
like pressing the thing.
Himmy will walk over.
Press in the brick, and you
Yeah.
hear chink.
While he does this, can Himmy just kind of look around at the rest of the library to make sure that fake Mordain doesn't come up on us while we're trying to find real
So
Mordain?
you look around, and all you see is the perch guard, as they've also called for a few more perch guard to come. They're now in the area. Nightsteed is there, searching the back desk of where Mordain would have been, looking for things.
Okay, I just don't want us to all focus on the secret door and get blasted from behind.
Yeah. No, you have people behind you.
Okay.
And as you open the door, you see that it leads down to a long and dark hallway. dark steps going down. As after about 5 to 10 seconds, the door starts closes back up.
With all of our friends up in the library.
You did not go in yet. Just
Oh,
looking
okay.
at the door.
But it does seem to be on a
I
timer.
would have 100% gone in.
All right,
I
you
don't know
gone
what
in,
about.
yeah. If you go in, everyone else follows.
I'm gonna yell at nicely and be like, Professor, the brick on the wall opens a door.
All right. All right.
And then I'm gonna press it and I'll go in. We're going in. Watch out for fake Mordain.
Okay, be careful. As the door closes behind you, you do see there's a lever that opens the door back up
Okay.
next to it. And as you make your way down the steps, you will find yourself waiting for next episode. As we'll end it there.
You take.
So, our party stumbles upon some secrets. Some secrets that they needed to know. And we will find out what these secrets lie for next session.
Oswald, man. He's gonna get
I
a
want-
fireball to the face.
I want to thank you all.
Be on your
for-
fireballs, Akiko.
Or bolt, I suppose. I don't have fireball yet.
I want you to thank you all for coming